My father awakened the S-rank demon blade, 1,000 Blades. My mother even awakened the SS-rank Xuanzhong ruler. But I awakened a broken wooden sword at today's ceremony, just as the crowd below burst into thunderous laughter. Suddenly, the sky over the entire city was dyed red. Then a red light descended from the sky and fell upon me. After the red light dissipated, a swordsman's phantom appeared on the awakening platform. When the principal saw it, he exclaimed that it was the only hidden class Sword Array Master. This meant that this class was unique in the entire world. Unless I died, no third Sword Array Master would ever appear in this world. So the school gave another. New Awakening Divine Stone. The mage maintaining the class change array shouted excitedly, "Classmate, hurry up while your luck is good. And do a second draw." I did not hesitate and put the new divine stone into the array. Another red light flashed. The sky was overcast with clouds and sword-like crisscrossed. But the card I drew did not contain a weapon. It was also a swordsman riding a sword in the air. When the principal saw this, he almost died of excitement, because the divine stone only guarantees a class on the first awakening draw. After that, there is only a very small chance of drawing a duplicate class. Duplicate classes are not wasted, but are converted into additional attributes or special skills. After the first class change, every subsequent draw that yields a duplicate class is converted into a constellation. Each class has 6 constellations, but many people spend their entire lives without drawing 6 constellations. For someone like me to draw red and then red again in a single draw, it was still the first case in the world. The array mage's eyes were now red, and he roared excitedly. "Classmate, keep drawing, draw a signature weapon, and you will become a national treasure." I was a bit dazed at this moment, but I still obeyed, and immediately used the newly gifted divine stone to draw again. A red light flashed, and a sword array appeared in the sky again. Then another phantom of a swordsman riding a sword appeared on the awakening platform. At this moment, even the usually calm array mage began to roar. Principal Ning Chin even fainted from excitement. Something happened to the principal school doctor. Call the school doctor quickly. I no longer waited for the array mage, and deftly placed the godstone. Another red light flashed. Another constellation. By then I had entered a trance and continued drawing. Within 2.5 minutes I drew 3 more times, and all 3 were red lights. The entire school fell into dead silence. Someone had drawn the only hidden class with full constellations. In thousands of years of world history, no one this absurd had ever appeared. This was absolutely God's illegitimate child. This exaggerated drawing spree made me feel like I had used up my lifespan. But at this moment there was still one more gifted divine stone to draw. Unfortunately, this time there was no red light. Not even gold or blue, only a white light. A sword box flew out of the array and slowly landed in my hand. Holding the sword box, I lamented. How unlucky I actually drew a whiteboard. Hearing my words on campus, countless students began to riot in agitation. Then a music teacher activated her skill. Her singing immediately calmed everyone's emotions. When I walked back into the crowd with the sword box, Lu Ruyan immediately came up and asked what my attributes were. So I first checked my own panel. Skill Sword Array Level 1. Deploy Sword Array continuously consumes mental energy within a 10 meter radius. Critical damage increased by 100%. Sword Control Level 1. Control flying swords to attack in the air. Constellation 1 Sword Army. Sword Array effective radius becomes 10 times. Constellation 2 Sword Intent. Deploying Sword Array and Sword Control no longer consume mental energy. Constellation 3 Sword Bone. Continuously recover physical strength within the Sword Array. Constellation 4 Sword Embryo. For each enemy attacked within the Sword Array, other enemies within the Sword Array take 10% splash damage. Constellation 5 Sword Heart. Attacks within the Sword Array always crit. Critical rate doubled and converted to critical damage bonus, additional 100%. Constellation 6 Sword Immortal. All attacks within the Sword Array ignore enemy defense. After reading my attributes, I could not help but gasp. With this constellation bonus, how could others even compete? From the class attributes, mental strength was far higher than other attributes, indicating that the Sword Array Master was more of a magic-oriented class. After a moment of thought, I did not deploy the Sword Array, but directly used the Sword Control skill. I controlled the iron sword box to open, and an iron longsword flew out. I looked at this iron sword. It only had 10 attack power. Ordinary equipment seen everywhere on the street. Then I looked inside the sword box and found that it could hold a total of 10 flying swords. In theory, the more flying swords one controlled at the same time, the more mental energy should be consumed. A Sword Array Master without constellations should only be able to control 1 flying sword in the early stages. So the iron sword box only had 1 iron sword. But my Constellation 2 made both deploying the Sword Array and Sword Control cost nothing. This meant that just this constellation alone multiplied my early combat power by 10. After carrying the sword box on my back, I recalled the special scene I saw when I drew the Sword Array Master class. Millions of Abyss troops marching through the wilderness. Then countless swords fell from the sky and annihilated the million-strong army in an instant. That scene made me realize that in the late game I could also have the power to fight a nation alone. After the ceremony, 300 students, 35 drew combat classes, 265 drew life classes. Ningqian, who had been revived, walked back to the stage and gave an inspiring speech to the students. Then he began to talk about serious matters. 1 month later would be the annual National College Entrance Exam of the Great Xia Empire, whether they had drawn a life class or a combat class. All students could enter higher education institutions through the exam. He hoped that within this month, they would improve their skill proficiency and levels as much as possible. After dismissal, the principal called me and Lu Ruyan over together. This year, only you two have the chance to be admitted to Kyoto University. So today I plan to give you two some extra training. The hidden hard requirement for entering Kyoto University is reaching level 19 within 1 month. Lu Ruyan's awakened elf saintess was a high-level rare class, and with her family's help, there should not be any major problems. The principal was most worried about me, because a hidden class only meant rarity, not necessarily strength. Although constellations improve the class generally speaking, the 6 constellations increase class strength by about 50%. For stronger classes, it was only about 70%. After listening to the principal, I silently glanced at my own constellation panel, and only then realized that it was only me who was this strong. Finally, the principal said he would let the two of us go together to a newly discovered hidden dungeon on the outskirts. The monsters inside were only level 12, making it relatively easy. And not only did it give 50% more experience than ordinary dungeons, most importantly, after clearing the dungeon, we would receive a divine stone. After leaving school, I went to the shop and spent all the money I had saved over 2.5 years to buy 9 iron swords of average quality, and also bought a damage-testing wooden dummy. When I arrived at an open space and was about to summon the flying swords, a woman's face suddenly appeared in my mind. Detected that the host has class changed to Sword Array Master. Achievement system activated. Detected that the host has achieved the God level achievement, 1 draw full constellations. Reward awakened the only God level talent, Absolute Luck level 1. Detected that the host has achieved the God level achievement, Sword Immortal. Reward awakened the only God level talent, I am the Sword Immortal level 1. I was shocked on the spot and immediately checked my talent attributes and found that the effect of Absolute Luck was 10 times per month drawing luck maxed out. The effect of I am the Sword Immortal was all damage multiplied by 10. I thought to myself that the most important thing in this world was drawing cards. Almost all precious things in the world, whether it was money, skills, or equipment, could all be obtained from card draws. Now that I had 10 chances per month to draw with max luck, would it not mean that as long as I got a divine stone, I could immediately get my own red legendary signature weapon? Although divine stones were rare, getting one in a month was barely achievable. It took me a long time to recover from the shock. Now he could not wait to test his damage. So he placed the testing wooden dummy in the center of the open area, deployed the sword array, and used sword control. I first controlled one flying sword to precisely pierce the dummy, dealing 546 damage. As far as I knew, even the fire mage, who was going to have the highest early attack power. At level 1, a fireball spell would only deal about 20 damage to the testing dummy, and the fire mage could only cast a few fireballs before running out of mental energy. My level 1 normal attack damage could already match a level 10 fire mage's fireball. Thinking of this, I directly controlled 10 flying swords to shoot at the dummy. When I saw 5,460 damage appear above the dummy's head, my pupils could not help but contract. The textbook said that a level 10 boss had about 10,000 to 20,000 health. This meant that I could easily kill a level 10 boss with, at most, 4 attacks. The key was that I was only level 1 now, and the weapon I used was only the lowest level iron sword. Thinking of this, I smiled, then went home contentedly with the sword box on my back. After arriving home, my aunt smiled and welcomed me in. Before I transmigrated here, after the original host's parents both disappeared while exploring a mysterious dungeon, I moved to my grandmother's house. When my grandmother learned that I had awakened a combat class, her face instantly darkened. Grandmother said, "One after another you all become combat classes and go risk your lives. I might as well go down to hell and wait for you all." Then my aunt comforted me saying, "Your grandmother was an elite in the military when she was young. When your mother drew a combat class back then, she held a banquet for 3 days and 3 nights. When I drew a singer, she gave me a sour face for 3 days and 3 nights." Then I also told my aunt that I had drawn a hidden class. Hearing this, my aunt immediately cast an envious, jealous look. "Is your class powerful?" "Powerful. Powerful is good. Combat classes need to be powerful. Hurry up and tell me what exactly is powerful about your class." The rest of the night passed with my aunt's exclamations of powerful. The next morning, I found an ornate badge beside my bed. Although it looked a bit old, it was very well preserved. When I picked it up, the attributes were displayed. Imperial Special Merit Badge. Strength plus 100. Agility plus 100. Mental plus 100. Constitution plus 100. Damage reduction plus 10%, level 1 wearable. Finally, there was a note. Dedicated to the heroes who have made great contributions to the Empire. When I saw the name and note, I was stunned. Under this name and note, the plus 100 to all 4 attributes seemed unimportant. In the Great Xia Empire, there was a saying, "First-class merit is earned with one's life. Second-class merit comes with disability. Third-class merit means hard labor. and special merit could only be obtained by legendary figures. Every special merit badge represented a legend. At this moment I was a bit dazed. I never expected that my usually kind and gentle grandmother was actually a war goddess who had earned special merit. When I walked into the living room, my grandmother had already prepared breakfast. After I sat down, I asked my grandmother about the badge. They are all trivial past matters, just eat your breakfast well. Train hard and do not disgrace our family. Grandmother, you agreed to me becoming an adventurer. Your class and talents if I stopped you. It would be the greatest betrayal to the country. After leaving home, I checked my current attributes. Strength 110, agility 105, mental 130, constitution 105. Wearing the Imperial Special Merit Badge added 100 to all 4 attributes. This was equivalent to the attributes added by a normal class at level 16 inches the early game. Then I took the school bus to the hidden dungeon on the western outskirts. There were 8 middle schools in Westlake City. Each school had 2 to 3 slots to enter the hidden dungeon for leveling. After arriving at the location, Liu Ruyan came over and said to me, "The dungeon is open. The teacher said it is best to form a 5-person team for this dungeon. This way we can ensure safety and leveling efficiency will not be low. I have already formed a team for you. 2 fire mages, 1 warrior, and me as a healer. With the experience from this dungeon, we should reach level 12 inches a week. But monster experience is split among the team, so I wanted to solo it." Then Liu Ruyan entered with the 3 previous teammates, while I chose to solo the dungeon. As soon as I walked in the door, a ferocious rabbit pounced at me. I did not hesitate to deploy the sword array. An iron sword flies out of the sword case and stabs straight at the furious rabbit, but I only killed 1 rabbit. Suddenly over 10 prompts appeared in succession. Then I realized it was the splash effect from Constellation 4. For each enemy attacked within the sword array, other enemies within the sword array take 10% splash damage. My damage was now far beyond that. As long as 1 rabbit died in the sword array, all other rabbits would die as well. Then I summoned all the flying swords and began a massacre in the forest. With a flood of prompt messages, my experience bar shot up rapidly. This leveling speed was simply shameless. Half an hour later I got my first level up. Level increased and all attributes increased accordingly. Strength plus 10, agility plus 5, mental plus 30, constitution plus 5, bonus attribute point 50. I remember the textbook said that a normal class gains about 25 attribute points per level. My class's growth was actually double that. I felt that just killing rabbits was boring, so I began to push deeper into the forest. The levels of monsters encountered along the way also gradually increased. But all monsters were instantly killed without any suspense, and they died in large groups. The monster respawn rate in the dungeon was not even as fast as my killing speed. In less than an hour, a beam of light burst out from me, another level up, strength plus 10, agility and constitution plus 5, mental plus 30, critical rate plus 1%, critical damage plus 10, and the sword array and sword control skills also rose to level 2. Now 1 flying sword dealt 1,579 damage. 10 flying swords dealt 15790 damage, fully capable of one-shotting a level 10 boss. My damage had already caught up with a level 40 fire mage. I thought this class was too unbalanced. Fortunately, it was a unique class. Only I could bear such injustice. While I was complaining about the unfairness to other classes, I shot the ferocious Rabbit King in front of me with tears in my eyes, and the experience bar rose another notch. At this rate, I could reach level 12 inches at most one day. Most importantly, thanks to the bonuses from Constellation 2 and Constellation 3. Sword control cost no mental energy, and physical strength continuously recovered within the sword array. I could completely skip going out for supplies, saving a lot of leveling time. While I was still slaughtering in the dungeon, many students had already withdrawn for treatment and supplies. The principal outside could not see me and began to worry. Suddenly, a squad of heavily armed official troops arrived nearby and sealed off the dungeon entrance. The official troop leader, Sha Zhaoyang, saluted several principals. "Sorry, the military has detected that this dungeon's energy index fluctuates abnormally. We need to close the dungeon to check for hazards. Please take your students back today." Ning Qin quickly said, "Captain Xia, I still have a student inside the dungeon. Could we wait for him to come out first?" Xia Zhaoyang frowned, then glanced at his watch and said, "This energy fluctuation may be caused by abyss contamination. If not handled in time, this dungeon could become abyssal, so I can only give you half an hour." Ning Qin nodded. "That is enough. My student has been inside for over 2 hours. No matter what, he should be out within half an hour." Meanwhile, I, who was being worried about by everyone, had already reached the middle of the forest, and my level had reached 4. I was quite satisfied with my leveling speed. I had thought that the further I went, the slower I would level up. But actually, thanks to the splash damage from Constellations, and the true damage from Constellation 6 ignoring defense, the sword array had become a slaughterhouse for monsters. As long as they spawned within a 200 meter radius, they died instantly. The monster respawn rate nearby was too slow. It seemed I had to go deeper. With that thought, I put away my longsword and continued forward, without any intention of leaving the dungeon. At the same time, deep inside this hidden dungeon, the level 12 boss, One-Eyed Giant, was snoring on its stone bed. Suddenly, beside its stone bed, Purple bubbles slowly seeped out of the ground, and I continued advancing toward the center of the forest. Now even level 10 monsters could not withstand one slash from me. Before I knew it, I had reached the depths of the forest. A golden light burst from my body and I reached level 5. The 4 attributes and critical damage increased, but I was somewhat dissatisfied with my leveling speed. Although the deeper I went, the higher the monster levels and the more experience they gave. The monster density had decreased. Now killing a tiger gave only 0.1% experience. I would need to kill 1,000 tigers to level up, but tigers were extremely rare. At most I could find 5 per minute. Including other monsters, it would still take me a long time to reach level 6. I thought that I had been in the dungeon for 3 hours and was only level 5. Although others were currently at most level 3, I could not compare myself to them. I kept walking and came to a cave entrance. The boss of this hidden dungeon should be inside this cave. The monsters inside should all be level 12. There might also be elite monsters. I thought for a moment, then resolutely walked in. Although I was only level 5 now. 1 sword strike already dealt 2,000 damage. 10 flying swords dealt 2,0,0,0,0, with an attack frequency of once per second, plus the splash damage from constellations. Even if the boss and elites were packed together, I could still clear them. Meanwhile, outside the dungeon, Xia Zhaoyang looked at his watch and said to Ning Qin, "Principal Ning, sorry, half an hour has passed. We must close the dungeon now. Captain Xia, could you please extend the time a little more? That child is a candidate for Kyoto University, we cannot lose him. We understand your concern, but please rest assured. After we eliminate the hazards, we will reopen the dungeon. Then the student will be able to come out." Just then, a soldier rushed over and shouted, "Captain, bad news. The instruments detected Abyss aura in the dungeon. The dungeon boss has been corrupted by the Abyss. Then close the dungeon immediately." "Report, Captain, we cannot close it." Xia Zhaoyang's expression changed slightly, and he asked, "Only the boss is corrupted. The dungeon has not fully become abyssal. Why can we not close it? Someone has already entered the corrupted boss's territory. The instance has unlocked the Abyss challenge mode." Xia Zhaoyang shouted, "Impossible. There is only 1 student in the dungeon right now, at most level 3. How could he enter the boss territory?" Xia Zhaoyang's expression turned extremely grim. He turned to Ning Qin and said in a deep voice, "Principal Ning, what exactly is going on with your student?" Ning Qin was also a bit confused at this moment and said, "I do not know." Xia Zhaoyang did not have time to pursue the matter with Ning Qin now. He turned and ordered, "Immediately evacuate the surrounding teachers and students and dispatch the city defense troops. We must not let the Abyss-corrupted boss enter the city." Liu Ruyan watched Xia Zhaoyang leave hurriedly and quickly asked Ning Qin, "Principal, what is Abyss raid mode?" At this moment, Ning Qin replied with a gloomy expression, "When abyssal power erodes a dungeon, the dungeon boss will be refined by the Abyss. All attributes will surge by at least 10 times. If the corrupted boss is not raided within a certain time, the corrupted boss will invade the real world with the dungeon monsters. So we need to act before the corrupted boss invades reality. Dispatch elite professionals to enter the Abyss dungeon to defeat the boss." This is called Abyss Raid Mode. Once Abyss Raid Mode is activated, the dungeon is no longer open to the public. The raider who enters the dungeon and the Abyss corrupted boss must fight to the death. If the raider successfully raids the Abyss boss, they will receive generous rewards. But if the raider is killed, the Abyss corrupted boss will be strengthened again and will immediately invade the real world. Liu Ruyan's expression changed slightly. "Then does that mean Li Yuan has to fight the corrupted boss?" Then she panicked a little and immediately ran to the side to call Butler Shu on the phone. At this moment inside the dungeon, I still did not know that I was already in danger and was still immersed in the joy of fast leveling. Successfully killed corrupted elite goblin experience plus 300. Successfully killed corrupted giant vanguard experience plus 500. As expected of the boss territory, the experience was rising fast. I was already grinning from ear to ear. As soon as I entered the cave, I was shocked by the experience from the monsters inside. Although the monsters here had much more health, it was only a matter of going from 1 flying sword to 2 flying swords. It did not affect my leveling speed at all. In just a few minutes, a golden light burst from my body. I directly reached level 6. Suddenly, a large group of goblins appeared ahead. There were over 100 just in my sight. At this moment, my eyes were shining with gold. They were all pure white experience points. In this narrow cave, the monster density was high and the numbers were large. And there was no need to search for monsters. This was a leveling paradise custom made for me. Seeing my experience bar rising so fast, I even felt that those goblins with their brains exposed were a bit cute. Outside the dungeon, the city defense troops had already built a defensive line at the dungeon entrance. The soldiers were fully armed and ready, swearing to intercept the Abyss monsters outside the line. The teachers and students of all schools had already been evacuated. Only Ning Qin, relying on his old principal's reputation, managed to get Xia Zhaoyang to allow him to stay with Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan looked at Ning Qin with teary eyes. "Principal, can Li Yuan really not survive?" "Absolutely impossible. The monsters in this dungeon's boss territory are all above level 10. After being corrupted by the Abyss, their attributes will increase tenfold. Zhang Yuan cannot even break through the monster's defense." At this moment inside the dungeon cave, I had just reached level 10 and was sitting on a rock, chewing some wild roasted dried meat, while controlling flying swords to slaughter monsters. Then I opened the panel to check. My current attributes: Strength 200, Agility 150, Mental 400, Constitution 150. Sword Array and Sword Control had also reached level 3. Now that I had leveled up to 10, it was time to go meet that boss. When I reached the depths of the cave, I saw a very huge monster. This giant was covered all over, with an unsettling aura. Just looking into the one-eyed giant's eyes, I felt an indescribable terror. The one-eyed giant king had also noticed me. Its eyes burned with malice, and it roared angrily. I thought to myself, is this really what a level 12 boss should look like? Something is wrong, absolutely wrong. Unfortunately, I had not learned detection magic, so I did not know the specific situation of this boss. I could only try attacking with 10 flying swords first. The 10 flying swords pierced the carapace on the one-eyed giant king's chest, dealing 38360 damage. This was the first time I had encountered a monster that could survive 10 flying swords. I was shocked, but the one-eyed giant king seemed to be severely wounded as well. Its chest carapace was shattered and blood flowed non-stop. The enraged giant roared in fury. It grabbed the huge spiked club beside it and charged at me wildly. I did not dare to be careless, and once again controlled 10 flying swords to attack, dealing another 738,360 damage. Seeing that the monster was still not dead, I frowned slightly. While retreating, I used my mind to pull the flying swords out of the one-eyed giant king's body. Although the one-eyed giant king was covered in blood, it was still extremely fast. It reached me in 2 or 3 steps and smashed down with the spiked club. I side-jumped to dodge, although I avoided the club. I was still blasted away by the shockwave, and my health dropped by more than half in an instant. Such high attack power. If I had come here at level 6 or 7, even the splash damage would not have been bearable. This Sword Array Master really is a squishy class, but I do not believe you can survive another 10 swords. I knew that even one more splash hit would kill me, so I did not hesitate to control the flying swords to attack. The 10 flying swords pierced the one-eyed giant's heart, dealing another 38360 damage. The one-eyed giant let out a painful cry and then crashed to the ground. Successfully killed corrupted one-eyed giant king experience plus 10000. As soon as the system prompt sounded, a golden light burst from my body and I directly reached level 11. Detected that the host has achieved the achievement First Encounter with the Abyss. Reward Awakened Advanced Talent. Congratulations host on awakening the Advanced Talent Abyss Eye. Can detect targets not exceeding 50 levels above your own. Before I could even check my attributes, a treasure chest appeared on the one-eyed giant king's stone bed. My eyes lit up, and I immediately ran over to open the chest. Obtain a primary skill scroll. Obtained 1 divine stone. Obtained 1 class exclusive skill scroll. I did not expect to get 2 skill scrolls in addition to the divine stone. In this world, skill scrolls were quite valuable items. Even primary skill scrolls can be sold in the trade hall, priced at 100,000. As for the class exclusive skill scroll, although I had never heard of it, its value was obviously extremely high. I used the primary skill scroll without hesitation. The skill scroll turned into light and entered my body. Obtained skill Toxin Resistance level 1. Effect gained 10% toxin resistance. I nodded with satisfaction. The skill obtained from this skill scroll was random, and there was also a chance of skill acquisition failure. Obtaining a passive skill from a beginner skill scroll is already pretty good. Then I eagerly used the class exclusive skill scroll. Obtained passive skill Sword Array Space. Can store the sword box and flying swords in the sword array space. Can be retrieved at any time within the sword array. Seeing this obscure skill, a trace of confusion flashed in my eyes. Then I tried this passive, and found that the sword box and flying swords I was carrying had all disappeared, stored in the sword array space. I was a bit disappointed. Although being able to store the heavy sword box in the sword array space was indeed convenient. With my current strength, carrying the sword box was not much of a hindrance. If this skill only provided convenience, then the cost-effectiveness of this class-exclusive skill was too low. But soon I discovered something unusual about this skill. This skill had a second half. The phrase can be retrieved at any time within the sword array. With that thought, I immediately deployed the sword array. Then those flying swords appeared out of thin air within the sword array, and then quickly disappeared. Seeing this, my pupils instantly dilated. This meant that when fighting enemies, as long as the enemy was within my sword array, I could completely release flying swords behind the enemy and act as a sneaky attacker. I contentedly stuffed the divine stone into my pocket and began clearing the remaining monsters in the cave. Divine stones must be used in the Fate Star Array. I did not have enough money to buy a portable fate compass made by a master array mage, so I could only go to the Adventurers Guild and pay a certain commission to use the public Fate Star Array for draws. Now, as long as I went to the Adventurers Guild to draw and got a signature weapon, I would soar to the sky. After defeating the corrupted one-eyed giant king, monsters no longer spawned in this cave. It only took me half an hour to clear out the monsters and barely reach level 12. Then I laughed heartily and walked into the dungeon teleport exit that appeared behind the treasure chest. A moment later, from the empty treasure chest deep in the cave, a wisp of purple smoke flew out, gradually condensing into a dark shadow. It stared coldly at the dungeon teleport exit that was gradually closing. A level 10 soloing a level 12 corrupted boss. Humanity actually produced such a genius. We must find a way to eliminate it in the cradle, the shadow said grimly and dissipated into smoke. Outside the dungeon, Xia Zhaoyang led the city defense troops in full readiness. But the abyss monsters never came out of the dungeon. 3 hours had passed since the dungeon began to abyssify. That kid was still alive. Xia Zhaoyang saw that the abyss monsters were not coming out and could not help but feel some regret. A rookie could survive for 3 hours in an abyss dungeon, which was enough to prove that they were the elite of elites. With proper training, they would surely become a high-level combat power for the Empire. Suddenly, a soldier reported that someone had come out. Xia Zhaoyang shouted loudly, and the soldiers all raised their guns and aimed. As long as Xia Zhaoyang gave the order, they would launch the most fierce attack on the abyss monsters. But when I came out of the teleport gate, I was stunned by the scene before me. Ningqin saw me and quickly shouted for them to put down their guns. "This is my student." Xia Zhaoyang was startled and quickly stepped forward to ask, "How did you get out?" I replied simply, "Is it not just a matter of killing the boss to get out?" It was a pity that after killing the boss, the monsters inside stopped spawning. Otherwise, I could have leveled up a bit more. The next second, Ning Qin immediately cast a detection spell on me. Zhang Yuan Sword Array, Master Level 12. Ning Qin's heart leaped, and his face was full of disbelief. Ning Qin thought he had misread, and cast another detection spell on me. Zhang Yuan Sword Array Master Level 12. This time, Ning Qin was completely dumbfounded. Generally speaking, someone who can reach level 12 on their own within a week would most likely be able to get into Kyoto University. But Ning Qin had never heard of anyone reaching level 12 on their own within a single day. Xia Zhaoyang put his hands on my shoulders and asked excitedly, "Classmate, did you solo the Abyss Boss?" I was very surprised. Is the dungeon boss not meant to be raided? Why are you so excited? It was only then that the two realized that I had no idea the dungeon had been abyssified, and thought I was just raiding an ordinary hidden dungeon. Xia Zhaoyang turned to Ning Qin and questioned, "Principal Ning, did you not teach your students about abyss dungeons?" Ning Qin scratched his head. "Is that not a university course? Who could have imagined that a high school student would go and raid an abyssified dungeon? After all, students only start drawing cards and class changing near graduation from high school. They have low levels, few skills, and weak combat power. Not to mention raiding a corrupted boss with attributes strengthened by more than 10 times. Even an ordinary boss would require at least a week of leveling before it could possibly be raided. And that is under the premise of a reasonable team composition and good coordination among members. As for a level 12 abyss corrupted boss, it would require an elite team of level 20 to raid. A rookie soloing an abyss corrupted boss. This was unheard of. Shocked, Xia Zhaoyang and Ning Qin were both shocked. At this moment, Liu Ruyan hurried over and handed me a bottle of healing potion. I took a glance and found this was a high healing potion. Its market price was 100,000 per bottle. It could directly fully restore the health of a level 60 adventurer. Quite precious. Then I said goodbye to Ning Qin and came to the Westlake City Adventurers Guild. After professionals register as adventurers, they can accept tasks at the Adventurers Guild, earn bounties, and this is also the main source of income for adventurers. Inside the Adventurers Guild, there is also the Great Xia Empire Trading Hall. The trading hall is jointly established by the Adventurers Guild and the Great Xia Empire's official authorities. In the trading hall, as long as one is a citizen of the Great Xia Empire, they can not only freely buy and sell equipment and materials, but also directly consign items to the trading hall. And the Fate Star array I needed was inside the trading hall. I found an empty private room and placed my palm on the palm print recognition area on the door. Starting identity verification. Verification successful. Great Xia Empire citizen Zhang Yuan. Membership level 1. The palm print recognition area changed color and the private room door opened. Entering the room, there was a chair and a magic crystal ball specially made by alchemists. I placed my hand on the magic crystal ball according to the instructions. A virtual screen appeared before my eyes, with a large number of items being sold on it. Then I placed the potion Liu Ruyan gave me on it. In the blink of an eye, the advanced potion was bought for 100,000, and 80,000 appeared in my account. I cursed inwardly at the platform's cut. They easily earned 20,000 from me. Now that I had money, I could spend 1,000 to use the Fate Star array once. Then I took out the Divine Stone and placed it into the Fate Star array. Under the effect of the passive Absolute Luck, a red glow appeared in the array. The next second, a card printed with a crimson sword flew out of the array. Then the card dissipated into red light. The entire array lit up with red brilliance. A sword with a crimson body and dragon pattern slowly rose from the array. Its surging aura swept in all directions. I quickly checked the attributes of this sword. Divine Sword, Qi Xiao, exclusive tier 1. Attack plus 1000. Critical rate plus 50%. Critical damage plus 200%. Automatically protects the wielder immune to mental attacks. No equipment level restriction. Note: one of the 10 great swords protects its master, suppresses evil, and cleanses the world. After reading it, a maniacal smile appeared on my face. This equipment is the epitome of brutality. I'm afraid even the weapons wielded by those god-tier professionals are no better than this. With my current iron sword of 10 attack power, I already deal over 4,000 damage. now with Qi Xiao's 1000 attack power, plus 50% critical rate and 200% critical damage, including the critical conversion from constellations. The dead do not need to know the reason. Himingda sneered, and his body melted into the shadows, charging toward me at high speed. A trace of killing intent flashed in my eyes. Although I had never killed anyone before, I would still spare the other party. Several iron swords appeared out of thin air and quickly stabbed into the shadow on the ground. But the shadow in the ground was like a fish in the water. Nimbly dodging, my attacks then circled around behind me. Then Himingda activated the skill Fatal Strike. The poison dagger stabbed toward my heart without hesitation, with a sound of tearing. Those iron swords that had been stuck in the ground somehow appeared behind me again, directly turning Himingda into a pincushion. Then the system prompt sounded. Successfully killed Himingda. Obtained equipment Poison Dagger. Sun Ya's expression changed drastically, and he immediately drew his bow and shot. Activating the skill Triple Shot. The bowstring vibrated and an arrow flew out, splitting into 3 arrows midair to block my escape routes. Seeing this, I remained completely still. Those iron swords stuck in Himingda's body disappeared out of thin air and appeared midair to cut off Sun Ya's 3 arrows. Sun Ya was also frightened by my methods. He did not understand how a level 12 rookie could instantly kill his level 20 companion and easily counter his attacks. Then under my questioning, he revealed that they were sent by Wang Hu. Although Wang Hu and I had conflicts, there were only minor frictions at school. I never expected Wang Hu to be so vicious as to hire murderers. Then Sun Ya began to beg for mercy in a trembling voice. Brother, I have told you everything I know. Just let me go like a fart. I glanced at the goblin not far away. Then I let him roll away. Sun Ya immediately scrambled and fled into the distance. The next second, I casually used 10 iron swords to pierce the goblin not far away. Successfully killed Goblin Warrior experience plus 200. Successfully killed Sun Ya. Obtained Goblin Bones, obtained equipment, Emerald Bow. After cleaning them up, I checked the equipment that dropped from them. Poison Dagger Silver Tier Attack plus 100. Assassin Class Skill Damage plus 10%. Additional Poison Damage level 20 usable. Emerald Bow Silver Tier Attack plus 80. Archery Class Skill Damage plus 10%. Additional skill Triple Shot level 20 usable. Both pieces of equipment had good stats. Selling for 100,000 should not be a problem. In this world, precious weapons come with tiers. From lowest to highest they are Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Epic, Legendary, Divine. In addition, there are also class-exclusive weapons that can only be obtained from card draws, such as my Divine Sword Qi Xiao. Generally speaking, a Tier 1 exclusive weapon stats are between Epic and Legendary. As refinement increases, the equipment stats will continuously rise until full refinement makes it a Divine tier. Due to the class-specific compatibility, a fully refined exclusive weapon is even more valuable than an ordinary Divine tier weapon. After I cleaned up the surrounding area, the sky had already darkened. By this time, I had also entered the depths of the Goblin Tribe territory. Soon a goblin with red glowing eyes appeared in my field of vision. I used Abyss Eye to inspect it and found that this one was much stronger than the ones during the day. No wonder the textbooks always warned that if leveling in the wild, it is best to return to the city before sunset. With that thought, I controlled 10 iron swords and pierced that goblin. The kill prompt sounded as well. Successfully killed Goblin Archer experience plus 1,200. Successfully killed Wild Wolf experience plus 50. Obtained Goblin Bones x10. Goblin Eyes x3. Wolf Skins x20. I glanced at the experience bar. It had risen a small chunk. The experience here was much higher than the beginner hidden dungeon. I might be able to level up 2 or 3 times tonight. Then I continued deeper into the forest, slaughtering the monsters along the way. In less than an hour, a golden light burst from my body. Reached level 13 mental strength, had already reached 490 points after killing all the way to the depths of the forest. I arrived in front of a huge vortex. Seeing the dungeon deep in the forest, I was startled and took out my map to compare, finding that the map did not mark any dungeon here. This should be a newly appeared hidden dungeon. Looks like I am lucky. I put away the map and tried to use Abyss Eye on the hidden dungeon ahead. Shadow Forest Dungeon level 15. Difficulty includes normal, hard, nightmare. And finally a question mark. I saw that the dungeon information given by Abyss Eye had a question mark and was slightly confused. I know there are difficulty options for field dungeons, but I did not expect this dungeon to also have a hidden difficulty. I thought for a moment, deciding to try the nightmare difficulty first. After all, this was not a game. Dying in the dungeon meant real death. Rashly challenging the hidden difficulty was not a wise choice. As soon as I entered the dungeon, a 4 to 5 meter tall dark shadow appeared in the thick fog ahead. Seeing this, I immediately used Abyss Eye. Shadow Forest Giant Elite Enhanced. Level 15. Strength 1000. Agility 100. Mental 30. Constitution 1000. As expected of an elite monster in a nightmare dungeon. At level 15, its stats were already much higher than a level 20 goblin outside. But with 1000 strength and 1000 constitution, health was around 20,000, which could not withstand attacks from 10 iron swords. With that thought, I controlled 10 iron swords to attack the monster, dealing 48238 damage. The Shadow Forest Giant's chest was pierced by the 10 iron swords, and it immediately fell to the ground, dissipating into black smoke. Successfully killed. Shadow Forest Giant experience, plus 2000. I received the prompt and a flash of excitement surged in my heart. A level 15 monster gave 2000 experience, several times higher than monsters of the same level outside. Killing one monster here was like killing several outside, and it was also a one-shot kill, so the speed was not slow. Leveling in this dungeon might be a good choice. Continuing deeper into the dungeon, I encountered several more Shadow Forest Giants, but all of them were easily taken down and the experience rose rapidly. Then I pushed through all the way like this. When I reached the deepest part of the dungeon, the experience bar had already reached 770%. The leveling speed was astonishingly fast. Deep in the Shadow Forest, there was an altar with a cross on it. When I took one more step forward, the cross instantly turned into a scarecrow. It looked like the boss of this dungeon. I immediately used Abyss Eye on it. Level 16. Strength 0. Agility 0. Mental 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Constitution 0. Skills Mental Storm Death Curse Revival. After seeing the boss's stats, a smile bloomed on my face. This boss's stats were indeed terrifying. An ordinary team would probably be easily wiped out if they did not know the situation, but I had the exclusive weapon, Chi Xiao. And one of Chi Xiao's passives was that the wielder is immune to mental attacks. It could be said that my exclusive weapon hard countered this mental type boss. I first tried piercing the scarecrow with iron swords, but every time I killed it, it immediately revived. After a few attempts, I gave up on physical killing and shifted my attention to the altar, finding that at the 4 corners of the altar's edge, there were 4 thick candles. Then I tried to extinguish one of the candles. The shadow scarecrow suddenly let out a piercing scream and simultaneously released the skill Mental Storm. Terrifying waves of energy spread outward. Chi Xiao immediately formed a red barrier around me, blocking the shadow scarecrow's attack. Seeing that after I extinguished the candle, the shadow scarecrow launched an attack, I understood that my approach was correct and immediately went to extinguish the other candles. Each time I extinguished one shadow, Scarecrow would launch a mental storm. When I extinguished the last candle, Shadow, Scarecrow did not launch a mental storm, but began to twist and scream continuously before exploding. A death ray shot toward my face. This was its final skill, Death Curse. If not purified within 1 minute, it would cause instant death. But Chi Xiao's passive activated and blocked the Shadow Scarecrow's final attack. Obtained equipment, Cursed Necklace. Even after the kill prompt appeared, I was still shaken. If I did not have the passive that immunizes mental attacks, then to clear this dungeon there would need to be a paladin, or a priest with purification skills present. Otherwise, once hit by Death Curse, death was certain. With that thought, I checked the attributes of the Cursed Necklace. After equipping Mental plus 500, wielder gains the skill Mental Storm. At the same time, suffers from Mental Curse. Strength negative 250, Constitution negative 250. The effect of Mental Storm is to release a large-scale mental scream, dealing 10 times the wielder's mental strength as damage to each enemy. Note one of the 3 cursed set pieces. After reading the Cursed Necklace's attributes, I was a bit conflicted. My sword control damage was related to mental strength. Adding this 500 mental was equivalent to raising the stats of 17 levels, and that skill, Mental Storm, also made up for my lack of area of effect attacks. Although Constellation 4 had splash damage, it was only 10%. In the later stages, when monster health increased, my splash damage would become insufficient. Even now, my single sword splash damage could not kill elite monsters in 1 hit, but area of effect skills were different. The effect of my Constellation 4 was that within the sword array, for each enemy attacked, other enemies would take 10% splash damage. This meant that the more enemies my area of effect skill hit, the higher the stacked splash damage would be. With more than 10 enemies, the splash damage would directly exceed the skill's own damage. Mental Storm was for me a godly skill for clearing large groups of mobs, but the negative 250 strength and constitution were also quite troublesome. My current strength was 230 and constitution was 165. Equipping this necklace would directly reduce my stats to negative. I might end up being cursed to death on the spot. To wear this cursed necklace, I would need to be at least level 30 or higher. Then it suddenly occurred to me that this necklace's mental curse should also count as a mental attack. And my exclusive weapon, Chi Xiao, could make me immune to mental attacks. In theory, Chi Xiao should also be able to cancel out the mental curse from this cursed necklace. Thinking of this, I immediately decided to try equipping the necklace. If it did not work, I could just take it off. When I put on the cursed necklace, I only felt a chill around my neck. My vision became much clearer. Besides that, I felt nothing else. Then I immediately checked my attributes, finding that mental had become 990, and neither strength nor constitution had decreased. As expected of an exclusive weapon, immunity to mental attacks. Did that not mean I could ignore negative effects and wear cursed equipment? I knew that the cursed necklace had a note, saying it was one of the 3 cursed set pieces. If I collected the entire cursed set, I would gain powerful bonuses while also ignoring negative effects. I could not even imagine how strong I would become. While I was excited, in the center of the altar, a brand new treasure chest also appeared. I stepped forward and opened it. A colorful light shone from the chest. Obtained 1 Divine Stone. First clear of Nightmare difficulty Shadow Forest dungeon. Bonus reward equipment Cursed Ring. When I saw the first clear reward, my eyes lit up. A Divine Stone was a reward that everyone would get for their first dungeon clear, so I was not surprised by that. But this first clear reward actually gave a piece of cursed equipment. This was truly an unexpected surprise. With excitement, I immediately checked my gains. Cursed Ring after equipping Mental plus 500. Wielder suffers from Mental Curse. Agility negative 250. Constitution négative 250. Note one of the 3 cursed set pieces. Seeing the Cursed Ring's effect, I equipped it without hesitation. Chi Xiao's passive triggered and cancelled out the Cursed Ring's negative effects. Mental directly reached 1,490. This was already the attribute of a level 30 mage after class change. The last piece of the cursed set should be obtained from this dungeon's hidden difficulty. Now that I had already obtained 2 of the 3 pieces, there was no reason not to get the last one, especially since I hard countered this dungeon boss. I could clear it without taking any damage. After organizing the loot, I left the dungeon and returned to reality. Then without hesitation, I challenged the dungeon's question mark difficulty. This time, as soon as I entered, a piercing scream came from deep within the forest. Chi Xiao's passive activated immediately. It was the Shadow Scarecrow's Mental Storm. I thought to myself, as expected of the hidden difficulty. I was attacked by the boss's mental attack as soon as I entered. Come to think of it, did the Shadow Scarecrow's attack range really extend this far? At this moment, a giant jumped out, blocking the way. I also used Abyss Eye on the monster without hesitation, finding that compared to the Nightmare difficulty monsters, the giants in this hidden difficulty had directly doubled stats. I retreated to keep my distance from the monster, then used my newly acquired skill, Mental Storm. A piercing shriek erupted from my necklace. My mental value was instantly depleted by 500 points. The terrifying Mental Storm swept outward, directly dealing 726,10480 damage. The giant immediately bled from all orifices and fell straight down. In an instant, a flood of kill prompts filled the screen. Successfully killed Shadow Forest Giant Warrior experience plus 4,000. Successfully killed Shadow Mage experience plus 8,000. Obtained Giant Hearts x10, Giant Nails x12, Giant Bones x10, Shadow Crystals x1. As soon as the prompt sounded, a golden light burst from my body and I reached level 14. Then looking at the terrifying scene before me, I thought, and like the sword control skill, it also benefited from critical rate and critical damage bonuses, plus the talent's 10x multiplier and Constellation 4's damage stacking. When this skill was used within the sword array, not a single living thing would remain within a 300 meter radius. Imagine if in the later stages, the sword array's radius expanded to kilometers or even tens of kilometers. Then using Mental Storm once within the sword array, for every additional enemy damage would stack by 10%. Even a god would probably be crushed by the storm within the sword array. With that thought, I stood up and advanced deeper into the forest, leveling along the way. When I reached the vicinity of the altar, deep in the Shadow Forest, I had already reached level 15. When I saw the scarecrow in the center of the altar, I was about to use Abyss Eye on it, when a large number of purple bubbles suddenly appeared in the altar. The scarecrow began to twist eerily, opening its gaping mouth and releasing a mental storm, several times stronger than before. Even with Chi Xiao's protection, I was still pushed back several steps by the sound waves. After steadying myself, I immediately used Abyss Eye on the scarecrow. When I saw its 200,000 mental attribute, my pupils instantly dilated. But then I noticed that the boss's name had changed to Corrupted Abyss Scarecrow. My expression instantly became extremely interesting. Was it not said that the probability of a dungeon becoming abyssified was less than 1%? This was only my second day after class change, and I had only challenged 2 dungeons in total, yet both dungeons had become abyssified. Was this unlucky or lucky? This time there were 8 candles around the altar. For each candle extinguished, the Corrupted Abyss Scarecrow would howl twice. The harsh piercing screams numbed my head. When I extinguished the last candle, the Corrupted Abyss Scarecrow kept screaming and twisting, finally exploding violently. When the red death ray shot toward me, Chi Xiao's passive activated again, blocking the Scarecrow's death curse. Then a system prompt sounded. Successfully killed Corrupted Abyss Scarecrow. Experience plus 4,000. Obtained equipment, Cursed Bracelet. As soon as I put away the bracelet, a dark shadow rose from the altar, finally transforming into a demon mage in a purple robe. A mere level 15 human, actually able to defeat my masterpiece. Indeed, I cannot let you live. Seeing the demon mage appear, my gaze turned slightly sharp. I immediately used Abyss Eye on it, but the result indicated that the target could not be detected. When I received this response from Abyss Eye, my pupils shrank sharply and a storm surged in my heart. Abyss Eye can detect targets not exceeding 50 levels above your own. Now, being unable to detect this demon mage meant that it was a monster above level 65. In that instant, I suddenly remembered a news article I had recently seen in a newspaper subscribed to by my grandmother. A vanguard team with an average level of 70 failed to clear an abyss dungeon. resulting in a level 70 Abyss Boss escaping. Currently, that level 70 Abyss Boss was nowhere to be found. Recalling that news, I suddenly felt my mouth go dry. Looking at the Demon Mage ahead, I tentatively asked, "Are you the Abyss Boss?" The Demon Mage sneered. "That is right. I am the mental Archmage, Odys, from the Abyss. By order of the King, I have infiltrated the Great Shah Empire to abyssify all beginner dungeons and eliminate all the unrisen geniuses of your human race. Human youth, blame your own brilliance. Otherwise, I would not have risked being discovered to act personally." Hearing Odysseus' words, my expression suddenly became subtle, and I asked, "Are you a mental type Archmage?" Odys seemed very proud of his abilities. After I asked, he replied proudly, "Since my birth, I have specialized in mental type spells, precisely to have more means to torment your human souls. Not long ago, a level 70 elite team of your Great Shah Empire was tortured to death by my mental attack spells. Even now, recalling the pain of their souls before death still gives me great pleasure." "I see," I nodded. The divine sword, Chi Shao, silently appeared behind Odysseus, piercing directly through Odysseus' back, immediately dealing 72097 damage. A terrifying number appeared above Odysseus' head. Odysseus instantly dispersed into mist, then quickly recondensed not far away. At this moment, the smile on Odysseus' face had turned into a look of fear. "Impossible? How could you possibly break through my defense? How much health do you have exactly?" Seeing that Odysseus' aura did not seem to have decreased much, I once again controlled Chi Shao to attack. Chi Shao disappeared out of thin air and reappeared behind Odysseus, successfully ambushing again. Seeing himself injured, Odysseus nearly went mad. He stared at me intently and roared, "How can a level 15 brat like you possibly hurt me? What skill do you have? I will make you my slave." Then he activated the skill Soul Control. Energy surged in Odysseus' staff. An invisible mental wave rushed toward me. Chi Shao's passive activated. The red barrier blocked Odysseus' attack. At this moment, the smile on Odysseus' face had transferred to my face, seeing that his skills had no effect on me. Odysseus completely lost his composure and began to frantically throw skills at me. Mental Storm, Soul Flame, Death Curse, Soul Toxin, Soul Explosion. Odysseus used every trick he had against me. Those psychic spells that can instantly kill level 70 professionals were all thrown at me, who was only level 15, like they cost nothing, and I stood firm in the storm of mental attacks, constantly using Chi Shao to sneak attack Odysseus. No matter how much health Odysseus had, I stabbed him one sword at a time. I will eventually stab Odysseus to death. Why? Why are my skills ineffective against you?" Odysseus, seeing this, went mad and roared heart-wrenchingly, his eyes bloodshot. Seeing that Odysseus only had mental attacks, I could not help but complain inwardly. This guy really did not learn any other spells at all. After Odysseus had thrown out all his skills, his mental energy was mostly depleted. He gradually calmed down, realizing that I had a divine skill that completely immunized mental attacks. "Zhang Yuan, you are really lucky to have encountered me, Odysseus. If any other abyss demon had found you, you would definitely not survive today." Just as he was about to turn and escape into the void, Chi Shao suddenly appeared, piercing through his chest and dissipating into black smoke. Successfully repelled Abyss Demon Odysseus. Experience +2,000,000. Detected that the host has achieved the achievement Facing the Abyss. Reward awakened Advanced Talent Fearless Body. At the same time, in the center of the altar, a treasure chest appeared and opened automatically with golden light flashing. Obtained 1 divine stone. Obtained 10 primary skill scrolls. Obtained 1 class exclusive skill scroll. Successfully first cleared hidden difficulty Shadow Forest dungeon. Bonus reward equipment Cursed Heart. After checking the attribute panel, I noticed my new talent Fearless Body. Looking closely at its effect, it was actually damage reduction 80%. What did 80% mean? Adding the 10% reduction from my grandmother's Imperial Special Merit Badge, my damage reduction was now directly 90%. How was that any different from immunity? Originally, my Sword Array Master class's biggest weakness was being squishy. Now this Fearless Body directly made up for that biggest weakness, making me a well-rounded class with no weaknesses. After checking the talent, I went to check the equipment in my storage space. Cursed Bracelet Mental +500. Wielder suffers from mental curse. Strength -250. Agility -250. Note one of the 3 cursed set pieces, as expected. Also adding 500 mental. After equipping it, my mental would break through 2000, making me even more of a mage than a mage. After putting on the cursed bracelet, I then turned my attention to another piece of equipment. That was the reward for first clearing the hidden difficulty dungeon. Cursed Heart. Effect curse effects applied to oneself are converted into positive effects. I gasped. Curse effects converted into positive effects. Does that not mean all the negative effects of the curse set become positive? To verify my guess, I took the Cursed Heart out of the storage space. Then the Cursed Heart turned into a ray of light, entered my chest and disappeared. Then I felt my physical ability had increased significantly. I immediately checked my 4 attributes, finding that strength, agility, and constitution had all increased by 500 points each. Now I was really tankier than a knight and faster than an assassin, dealing more damage than a mage and stronger than a warrior. The key was also having 90% damage reduction, what is called invincible at the same level. This is invincible at the same level. After checking the talent and equipment, I started organizing the other loot. 2 divine stones that meant 2 exclusive weapons. Their value was higher than all the other gains today combined. 10 primary skill scrolls. I took them out and used them without hesitation. Apart from those that failed to learn, I did not get any new skills. Instead, the skill Toxin Resistance was raised to level 5. Now Toxin Resistance gave 50% toxin resistance. Then I silently prayed and used the class exclusive skill scroll. Obtained skill Attribute Conversion, level 1. Within the sword array, mental can be converted into strength, agility, and constitution. Conversion multiplier is 1x. Seeing my new skill, I was a bit confused. Why were the sword array master's skills all so brain-burning? Just reading the description was hard to understand. I immediately tried using sword array attribute conversion, trying to convert mental into strength. Then I found that my strength had directly soared from 760 to 2,840. I instantly felt that I could now kill an ox with one punch. Then I converted mental into agility. Agility soared from 680 to 2,760. And I felt I could run faster than a car. Finally, I converted mental into constitution. Constitution soared from 680 to 2,760. I felt like I had become an indestructible wall. I was very satisfied with my newly awakened class-exclusive skill, and most importantly, was the second half of Attribute Conversion's description. Conversion multiplier is 1x. This meant that as my skill level increased in the future, the multiplier would also increase. My mental was already high, and then converting it 10x into strength, that scene was unimaginable. After a full day and night of fighting, my storage space was almost filled with various monster materials. I needed to go to the trading hall to clear them out for money, and at the same time, report the Shadow Forest dungeon immediately to earn Adventurers Guild contribution points. Avoid being defeated by practitioners of other professions. Most importantly, I had 2 divine stones, which meant 2 more draws. Returning to the Adventurers Guild, I walked to the front reception desk. A sweet-faced girl with a professional smile asked, "Hello, how can I help you?" I discovered a new dungeon in the wild. The girl immediately registered the information on the computer. Please register your information here. The Adventurers Guild will verify the dungeon information within 1 working day and issue you a reward. I asked again. By the way, I heard that after a new dungeon is discovered, the first person to clear the nightmare difficulty and submit a guide can get extra rewards, right? Yes, sir. After the Adventurers Guild assesses the dungeon's level. If your level is suitable, you can try to clear the dungeon. I have already cleared that dungeon on nightmare difficulty. Can I submit the guide directly? The girl paused for a moment after hearing this, looking at me with an incredulous expression. You've already cleared the new dungeon on nightmare difficulty. In this day and age, quite a few people discover new dungeons. But after discovering a new dungeon and waiting for the Adventurers Guild to assess its level, they rashly challenge the dungeon on nightmare difficulty and come back alive. That was truly rare. After all, everything about a new dungeon was unknown. No one would risk their life. After hearing my affirmative answer, the girl was dazed for a moment, then quickly came back to her senses and said, "Please wait a moment, I will go notify the manager." This situation was no longer something a front desk clerk could handle. Not long after the girl left the reception desk, a middle-aged man in a black suit walked out. "Hello, my name is Lian Ping. I am the manager of the Westlake City branch of the Adventurers Guild." As he spoke, he secretly used a detection spell on me. When he saw level 16 Sword Array Master, he was first surprised, although I had never heard of this class. Professionals of Occupation A at this rank can clear nightmare dungeons at a level of around 8 to 12. If such a dungeon was within the city walls, it could be used as a beginner dungeon for training students. But if it was in the wild, it had little value. At the same time, I also used Abyss Eye on him, finding that he was a level 40 Fire Magister. In the subsequent conversation, I told him the information about the dungeon. When he heard that the boss's mental attribute was 10000, he showed an expression of complete disbelief, because such high attributes could match many level 30 or 40 bosses. Not to mention whether such a boss would appear in a level 15 dungeon. Even if it did, how did you solo it? If you do not believe me, you can send a team to verify it first. Also, I should remind you that your team should have a priest or paladin. The boss has a revival skill and conventional means cannot kill it. You must extinguish the 4 candles around the altar. After extinguishing the candles, the boss will release Death Curse. If the team does not have purification skills, it is very easy to lose members. Seeing that I spoke with conviction, Lian Ping's expression also turned serious. I will arrange a team to assess the dungeon level immediately. If you are not lying, this could be a special dungeon created by abyss monsters. The Adventurers Guild will give you generous rewards. With that, he hurriedly left the office. Walking along, he thought, if the dungeon information I brought was true, then the level 70 abyss boss that had escaped was likely hiding in Westlake City. The previous abyssification of the beginner dungeon was not a coincidence. The newly discovered hidden dungeon was also very likely to become abyssified. If the abyss dungeon was not cleared in time, the consequences would be disastrous. This kind of matter must be reported to the guild's upper management. I did not know that I had dropped an information bomb. While thinking about what rewards I would get, I walked toward the trading hall to sell materials and purchase uses of the Fate Star array. 2 divine stones got Qi Xiao refined to tier 3. This was already a weapon comparable to legendary tier. It was said that legendary weapons could even give the wielder some unexpected benefits. But legendary equipment, confidential to every practitioner, I still did not know what that benefit was. The 2 silver equipment from the robbery sold for 100,000. The miscellaneous materials added up to 20,000. I earned 120,000 inches one day. Combat classes really made money. After selling, I spent 2,000 for 2 uses of the Fate Star array. I was really looking forward to Qi Xiao refined to tier 3. After the array was activated, I placed the 2 divine stones into it. As the 2 divine stones dissipated into specks of light in the Fate Star array, a large number of cards rolled within. Then the array glowed red. 2 red cards printed with crimson swords flew out, finally transforming into 2 divine swords, Qi Xiao. A terrifying aura suddenly burst from Qi Xiao, and I seemed to hear the sound of a dragon's roar. The patterns on Qi Xiao's blade became more refined. The blade also began to glow faintly. After the light faded, I opened the panel to check. Divine Sword, Qi Xiao exclusive tier 3. Attack plus 3,000. Critical rate plus 70%. Critical damage plus 400%. If the wielder's health reaches 0, is forcibly set to 1 point once per month. Automatically protects the wielder immune to mental attacks. Divine Quest, clear 10 Abyss dungeons. Note, one of the 10 great swords. Protects its master, suppresses evil, and cleanses the world. After reading the powerful attributes of Qi Xiao refined to tier 3, I was drawn to the Divine Quest entry below. This was the first time I had seen a Divine Quest, and clearing 10 Abyss dungeons was no easy task. An ordinary professional may not even encounter 10 abyssified dungeons in over a decade. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. I put away Qi Xiao and opened the door. Seeing Lian Ping looking at me with a smiling face, I asked in surprise, "Did you finish assessing it so quickly?" Lian Ping smiled apologetically. "We have indeed found the dungeon you mentioned, and have sent people to seal off the area. So can I get the reward now?" "We have already issued the reward. You can check your Adventurers Guild account." Seeing that I not only had 10000 contribution points, but also became a silver adventurer, and my membership level reached level 2. I was slightly surprised. After professionals register at the Adventurers Guild, adventurer level is determined by contribution points. From lowest to highest they are bronze, silver, gold, platinum, epic, legendary, divine. The higher the adventurer level, the higher the level of tasks they can accept. It was said that after reaching platinum level, the Adventurers Guild would also issue a monthly allowance. So I asked him, as far as I know, a level 15 dungeon would give about 1,000 contribution points. Even with a guide, it could not reach 10000. Lian Ping smiled at me and said, "We found that the Shadow Forest dungeon had already become abyssified and had been successfully cleared." I heard that earlier. You had already solo cleared an abyssified beginner hidden dungeon. Was that abyssified Shadow Forest dungeon also cleared by you solo? I looked confused and asked, could it have been cleared by someone else? Lian Ping saw me speaking nonsense with a serious face and could not help but twitch his mouth, reminding me, dungeons have clear records. Currently the only clear record for the Shadow Forest dungeon is you. Is that so? Oh, then I forgot to mention it. That dungeon was indeed abyssified. The corrupted scarecrow was very strong, I barely cleared it. Lian Ping's mouth twitched again and he said, "We also detected traces of the Abyss Archmage Otis in the dungeon. And that level of Abyss Boss seemed to have become the final boss after the dungeon became abyssified. Actually, I was just about to say that Otis was also very strong. I barely defeated him." Lian Ping finally could not hold it in. He suddenly stood up, staring straight at me with a rapid tone. "No way, a level 70 boss. That was the one that wiped out our entire Great Xia Vanguard team. How could you, at level 16, barely defeat that monster?" Hearing this, I told him about Otis's situation. I have a skill that immunizes mental attacks, and Otis only knew mental type spells, so he could do nothing to me. Lian Ping nodded. "Your information also verified the higher-up speculation about that Abyss Boss. Our Vanguard team was wiped out, precisely because they did not have mental defense equipment. Kid, you really did a great service this time. Old Bai wants to see you and give you a reward in person." I was stunned and asked, "Are you talking about the legendary Archmage?" "Adventurers Guild President Bai Zhengguo." "That is right, Old Bai, President Bai." Then he took me to a room. In the center of the room stood an old man in a white robe. The pressure this old man gave me was even stronger than the level 70 Abyss Boss Otis. Almost instinctively, I summoned Qi Xiao to guard myself and used Abyss Eye on the old man. Without any surprise, I could not detect any information about the old man. Bai Zhengguo smiled at me with satisfaction. Good reaction. Few young people nowadays have this kind of vigilance. Seeing Bai Zhengguo retract his aura, I also put away Qi Xiao and brought to Bai Zhengguo, greeting him. "That sword you just had is your exclusive weapon, right?" I told him honestly that it was. At this point, there was no point in hiding. I heard that when you drew for your class change, you got a full constellation hidden class in one draw. And now on your third day after class change, you also drew your exclusive weapon. Kid, your luck is truly heaven-defying. With that, he casually reached out and grabbed, handing me a bottle of cola. I took the cola without ceremony, opened it and gulped it down. Consumed divine cola, all 4 attributes permanently plus 10. Seeing that my 4 attributes had permanently increased by 10 points. I looked at Bai Zhengguo in shock. Bai Zhengguo smiled and then said, I teleported here specifically for 2 things. One is to give you a reward. The information you provided is very important. It can be said to have saved many young lives indirectly. The second is that I hope you will join the Abyss Raid group. Hearing this, I was a bit surprised. Bai Zhengguo introduced. In recent years, the trend of dungeon abyssification has become increasingly severe. The number of elite professionals responsible for tackling the Abyss dungeon is already stretched thin, so our Adventurers Guild has established an Abyss Raid group. After you join this group, we will not force you to carry out missions. We will only add you to a special chat group. That chat group will constantly update information on dungeon abyssification from various regions, and group members from different regions can also temporarily form teams in the group to selectively challenge Abyss dungeons. After a successful challenge, the Adventurers Guild will issue extremely generous rewards to the raiders. After hearing this, I nodded slightly. I already had a divine quest to clear Abyss dungeons. This Abyss Raid group was truly like a pillow coming just when I was sleepy, but I did not rush to agree and continued to ask. Members who can join this group, they should all be high-level elite professionals, right? Why choose me? Heh, kid, although you hide it well, the aura you emit is very sharp. I can sense many level 30 high-level professionals are not your match. If it were a life and death fight, even the level 40 Li and Ping would die by your sword, am I right? With your strength, joining the Abyss Raid group is more than enough. Of course, if you agree to join the Abyss Raid group, I will also give you additional rewards. As soon as Bai Zhengguo finished speaking, I said I was willing. Seeing me agree so readily, Bai Zhengguo appreciated my character even more. In that case, let me give you the reward first. First is the reward for providing key information about Otis. 10 basic skills, scrolls and 100,000 points of Adventurers Guild contribution. Seeing this, my pupils shrank. I did not expect the reward to be so generous. 10 Truzy skill scrolls, that was 1, 0. And 100,000 contribution points was worth tens of millions. Then Bai Zhengguo handed me a crystal ball. This is your reward for agreeing to join the Abyss Raid group. If you encounter danger in the future, just crush this crystal ball, and I will immediately appear by your side to unconditionally help you once. I excitedly accepted the crystal ball. With this life-saving charm, if the next Abyss boss came looking for me again, I would have enough confidence to deal with it. Kid, keep going, the future is yours. Bai Zhengguo smiled approvingly. Then a white light shone beneath his feet, and he disappeared completely. Li Anping had been waiting outside for a long time. Seeing me come out, he immediately stepped forward. Old Bai just sent me a message. Let us add each other as friends. I will invite you to the Abyss Raid group chat later. After adding each other as friends, I asked him if I could use guild contribution points to exchange for a portable fate compass for draws. Without a portable fate compass, every draw would require going to the trading hall, which was extremely inconvenient. Li Anping smiled and replied, with your current contribution points, you can fully afford the top-tier fate compass. Just tell me what kind of fate compass you want, and I can have one transferred from the warehouse immediately. Just give me the cheapest fate compass. As soon as I finished speaking, Li Anping took out a simple compass with a small magic array carved in the center from his storage space. This is the cheapest fate compass. The market price is 1 million, which is 10,000 contribution points. I will give you a discount and transfer it to you for 8,000 contribution points. I did not care whether this fate compass was secondhand. After transferring 8,000 contribution points to Li Anping, I said goodbye to Li Anping. Holding the fate compass, I left the Adventurers Guild satisfied. As soon as I exited the guild, my phone received an invitation from Li Anping. I clicked to confirm and entered the Abyss Raid group chat, and received a bunch of messages. West Luo City, Mine Abyss Dungeon needs a level 45 healer. Interested siblings nearby, please contact. East Shen City Forest Abyss Dungeon. Get a level 50 Burst Mage. East Sea Merman Island. Has become abyssified, needs a level 60 Paladin. Requires full epic equipment set, preferably with protection and purification skills. As soon as I entered the group, I felt like I had walked into a marketplace. Was this Abyss Raid group not supposed to be solemn and sacred, full of elite members who spoke little but were powerful? But now that I look at it, it's much the same as ordinary field dungeons. To the east of Westlake City, there is a Luo Cha River. There is a level 20 open world instance by the river. That place is a prime spot for players in Westlake City to farm equipment materials. And it is also my best leveling spot currently. I could directly grind there up to level 19. When I arrived, the area outside the dungeon was full of people forming teams. Although they saw that I was only level 16, the class Sword Array Master was quite conspicuous. Everyone could tell that I was not ordinary. After all, without some skills, one would not come to the Luo Cha River dungeon at level 16. I flatly turned down the invitations from people around me to team up. and chose Nightmare difficulty to teleport directly in. As I entered the dungeon alone, many people outside the dungeon showed knowing smiles. A level 16 entering the dungeon alone, is he that arrogant? Even on normal difficulty, he is asking for death. Truly a newborn calf, unafraid of tigers. Just wait. In about an hour, let us see if he comes out alive. At this moment outside the crowd, a woman in assassin gear sat on a rock, tossing her dagger in her hand, while looking at the dungeon teleport entrance with interest. What an interesting guy. Maybe he is the one I am looking for. As soon as I entered the dungeon, I was teleported to the riverbed. Ahead, there was a huge underwater palace. Guarding the palace entrance were some shrimp soldiers and crab generals. I glanced at the oxygen bar. The air was limited. It looked like it would only last about an hour. Either clear the dungeon within an hour, or reserve enough air to return to the entrance. With that thought, I immediately walked toward the underwater palace ahead, and used Abyss Eye on the shrimp soldiers and crab generals at the entrance. I found that the elite monsters here already had higher attributes than level 10 bosses. No wonder Nightmare required a 5-person team and a support. Otherwise, with the strength of these shrimp soldiers and crab generals, even a level 20 knight would not withstand a single blow. Knowing time was limited, I did not waste any. Directly deployed the sword array and used Chi Xiao to harvest the lives of 2 elite monsters. Successfully killed shrimp soldier experience plus 30000. Obtained 1 shrimp tail. Obtained 1 crab claw. After entering the palace, I found more shrimp soldiers and crab generals inside. Seeing a large number of monsters gathered in the hall, I directly used Mental Storm. All the shrimp soldiers and crab generals in the palace hall were instantly killed. A flood of experience prompts filled the screen, and my experience bar directly rose by 20%. Seeing the monsters disappear like in a matching game, I felt inexplicably delighted and continued deeper into the dungeon. But this palace had 3 main paths, and each path had many branching passages. The vast palace was like a maze, extremely complex. I wandered inside for half an hour, killing many shrimp soldiers and crab generals, reaching level 17, but still could not find the boss room. I thought to myself that if this continued, it would be bad once the air ran out. If I still had not found the boss, I would probably be suffocated alive. This dungeon had existed for many years. There should be a complete dungeon map available on the market. Instead of continuing to challenge, I went back to the dungeon entrance. As I appeared at the dungeon teleport point, it immediately attracted the attention of many people nearby. This kid actually came out alive. Could he have really soloed the dungeon? He was only in there for about 40 minutes. How could he have cleared the dungeon? I bet he could not even beat the shrimp soldiers and crab generals at the entrance. He definitely stayed at the entrance for so long just to save face, and only came out after waiting long enough. Completely fake. No, look at his level, it is already 17. He must have killed quite a few monsters. He probably got lost in the palace, and had no choice but to retreat. I did not care about others' comments, and walked toward Westlake City. This field dungeon, which is different from the novice dungeon, had a cooldown for each difficulty. The cooldown for Nightmare difficulty was 6 hours. I had plenty of time to prepare what I needed. A woman suddenly blocked my way and asked, "Did you just solo the Nightmare difficulty?" I glanced at the woman dressed as an assassin, then walked around her and continued on. The woman smiled. "I have information about the hidden boss of Luocha River. Are you interested?" I stopped and turned to look at the woman. The woman glanced around twirling her dagger and said, "There are too many eyes here. Let us talk somewhere else." I used Abyss Eye on the woman. Guan Xinying, assassin level 22. After confirming her class and level, I nodded in agreement. When we reached a secluded place, Guan Xinying stopped, then suddenly activated the assassin skill, Stealth. The next second she appeared behind me. But before she could activate her skill, Guan Xinying saw the iron sword at her neck, a flash of shock in her eyes. I turned around and looked at her calmly. "If you do not give me a reasonable explanation, I promise the next second, your head will be on the ground." Guan Xinying quickly calmed down, put away her dagger, and smiled. "Do not overthink it, sister, just wanted to test whether you are qualified to team up with me. If I brought a waste to challenge the hidden boss, we might both lose our lives inside. But from what I see now, you seem more like a waste than I thought. You are young, but your mouth is quite sharp." I put the iron sword back into the sword array space and asked, "Get to the point, what hidden boss?" Guan Xinying then took out a coral key. "This is a key I got from killing the Luocha River dungeon boss. It can open a hidden door. Inside there is a level 30 humanoid hidden boss. That hidden room is limited to 2 people, and the average level must be below 20. Room limit 2 people, average level must be below 20. But the boss is level 30. What kind of dungeon is that trying to fool an idiot? Not like this. That is where you are ignorant. This kind of situation is actually quite common in legendary trials." After hearing that, I asked her what legendary trials were. "They are secret quests scattered all over the world. After completing the trial content, you will receive extremely generous rewards. At the very least, an epic piece of equipment. If you are lucky, you might even get a special skill, or awaken a talent." How do you know all this? Judging by your appearance. You have probably just graduated from high school. Legendary trials are a required course at every university. You will know when you go to university. Then how are you sure? that I can help you defeat that hidden boss. My intuition has always been accurate. I feel that teaming up with you will definitely clear it. I do not like taking risks. Your reason is not sufficient. Guan Xinying could not help but tease me. Then she took out a scroll and handed it to me. Take this, and you will be willing to come with me. I took the scroll and checked its information. Return scroll can be used in dungeons. Forcibly exit the dungeon and return to the nearest main city. After reading it, a trace of surprise flashed in my eyes. I had seen this in the trading hall. It cost 100,000 each, which was extremely expensive. I did not expect Guan Xinying to be so generous. After a moment of thought, I also felt that this was an opportunity and nodded. I can team up with you to challenge the hidden boss, but I just came out of nightmare difficulty. I have to wait 6 hours. That is no problem. I have items that can remove dungeon cooldowns, Guan Xinying said, and sent me a team invitation. Do not worry, even though you're only level 17, we split the loot equally. Seeing Guan Xinying say that, I did not say anything more, accepted the team invitation, and together with her, returned to the Luo Cha River dungeon teleport point. Without hesitation, I teleported into the dungeon with Guan Xinying. After entering, Guan Xinying turned to me and said, it would take too much time for us to fight these elite monsters. I know a shortcut that can avoid most of the elite monsters. No need to go through the front right. I will level up a bit along the way. With that, I walked straight toward the shrimp soldiers and crab generals at the entrance. Are you crazy? Going through the front will get you killed. I did not respond. Summoned 10 iron swords and instantly killed the shrimp soldiers and crab generals at the entrance. Then entered the hall and used mental storm. A terrifying storm swept in all directions. Then Guan Xinying saw a flood of kill prompts and was completely stunned. I turned around and urged, what are you standing there for? Lead the way, I do not have a map. Guan Xinying snapped out of it and immediately walked ahead, choosing the middle door of the hall. On the way to the boss room, Guan Xinying was completely dazed. Every elite monster she encountered along the way was instantly killed by me. She thought to herself, is this really the attack power a level 17 should have? Guan Xinying could not understand. With the health of those elite monsters, even using her highest single target damage skill, she could not one-shot them, but I seemed to be using normal attacks. The most terrifying thing was that the normal attacks seemed to have splash damage. Suddenly Guan Xinying felt that her rare class, compared to my sword array master, was like a beggar class. With Guan Xinying leading the way and my one-shot kills, it took less than 10 minutes for us to arrive outside the boss room. Guan Xinying stopped outside the boss room and said to me, I know your attack power is high, but this is still a level 20 nightmare difficulty. Final boss. I know its weakness. You help me pull aggro and I will go around. We have limited time, no need for that trouble. I interrupted Guan Xinying and directly pushed open the door. Inside lay a giant snake over 10 meters long. I immediately used Abyss to check. Luo Cha King Serpent level 20. Strength 3,200. Agility 4,200. Mental 2,000. Constitution 6,000. After reading it, I muttered, it has 6,000 constitution. Guan Xinying hurriedly caught up. I told you, do not be impulsive, this boss has high attack and thick health, your squishy body cannot withstand one hit. Before she finished, I raised my hand and Chi Xiao appeared out of thin air, turning into a red light that pierced the Luo Cha King Serpent's head. The Luo Cha King Serpent did not even have time to react before letting out a wail and crashing to the ground. Successfully killed. Luo Cha King Serpent experience +4 2000. Guan Xinying obtained equipment Luo Cha King Serpent skin armor. Luo Cha King Serpent Fang Poison Blade. Luo Cha King Serpent Crystal Core. Guan Xinying saw the kill prompt in her panel. Her mouth twitched. Then she stood there dazed, staring blankly at the empty boss room, thinking she was dreaming. I turned around and asked, dungeon equipment and materials. Drop into the team leader's storage space. According to our agreement, we split equally, right? Guan Xinying nodded subconsciously, then took out the equipment and materials dropped by the boss. Luo Cha King Serpent Skin. Armor Gold Tier. Defense +200. Agility +200. Poison damage +20%. Level 20. Usable. Luo Cha King Serpent Fang. Poison Blade Gold Tier. Attack power +200. Attacks deal additional poison damage. Assassin skill damage +20%. Level 20. Usable. Luo Cha King Serpent Crystal Core Poison Attribute Material. After checking the equipment information, I shook my head. None of this equipment is useful to me. Guan Xinying suggested. I did not contribute much this time. In theory, all the equipment should go to you. But I do want these equipment pieces. How about I pay you the market price for gold equipment and buy these 2 pieces? A piece of gold equipment starts at 1 million. These 2 pieces look like a set, so their price is higher. The crystal core is also a valuable material for the whole package. I will give you 5 million, how about that? When I heard 5 million, I was stunned. Seeing that I did not respond, Guan Xinying thought I wanted more and added, I did not bring much pocket money this time. If you think it is not enough, we can add each other as friends after we go out, and I will transfer you another 2 million later. I came back to my senses and shook my head. We agreed to split equally. One piece of equipment for me, one piece for you. The crystal core we split half and half. Just give me 2,500,000 in cash. Guan Xingying laughed. You are really a strange person. You do not even want extra money. 250 does not sound good. After we leave the dungeon, I will transfer you 3 million. After reaching the agreement, Guan Xingying took out the coral key. With a sound, the coral door slowly opened. Behind the door was a dojo. In the center of the dojo sat a humanoid monster wearing an evil ghost mask and red armor. Behind it rested an unsheathed sword. Noble, proud, solemn. The monster exuded an aura of royalty. I immediately used Abyss Eye on it. Hidden leader Luo Cha King level 30. Strength 1,0,0,0,0. Agility 1,0,0,0,0. Mental 1,0,0,0,0. Constitution 1,0,0,0,0. Skills Sword Flash King's Pressure Indomitable Will. Seeing the Luo Cha King's attributes, I could not help but gasp. Not only were its 4 attributes in the 5 digits, the Luo Cha King's skills also seemed quite troublesome. Then I turned to Guan Xingying and asked, have you challenged this boss before? Do you have any information? Guan Xingying replied, I have only challenged it once and only got past its first phase. In the first phase, it does not use weapons, and its attack desire and speed increase significantly, and each phase has a health lock. It does not look like it can be killed by just bursting damage. After listening, I stepped into the dojo. The Luo Cha King, who had kept its eyes closed, slowly opened its eyes and stood up. Only then did I realize the Luo Cha King was over 3 meters tall. With an overwhelming sense of pressure, I directly deployed the sword array, summoning Qi Xiao behind the Luo Cha King, piercing its body. The Luo Cha King immediately knelt. Then flames surged around its body, its skin turned red, and it stood up, again pulling its sword from the sheath. Seeing that I had pushed the Luo Cha King to its second phase in one hit, Guan Xingying's mouth fell open in shock. She knew that previously in this dojo, she spent a full hour wearing down the Rakshasa King with her skillful tactics just to get it to the second phase. Yet I had triggered the second phase with a single normal attack. Seeing the Luo Cha King enter its second phase, I did not give it a chance to attack and controlled Qi Xiao to strike again. But this time a flash of sword light appeared, and it was deflected by the Luo Cha King's sword. My pupils shrank slightly. This was the first time my attack had been deflected. At this moment, the Luo Cha King turned into a red light, charging in front of me and activating the skill Sword Flash. As the Luo Cha King swung its sword, Qi Xiao immediately appeared in front, deploying a red barrier, deflecting the Luo Cha King's attack in time. Guan Xingying outside the dojo, seeing me withstand the Luo Cha King's blow, without even taking a step back, felt even more shocked beyond belief, staring at me in disbelief. What kind of monster is this guy? Not only is his damage high, but his defense is also this high. Does he have super armor too? She knew that even she at level 22, if touched by the Luo Cha King, even if she can use skills to block and reduce part of the damage, her health would instantly bottom out, forcing her to use the return scroll to escape. But the person before her seemed completely unfazed. Is this guy really level 17? Just as Guan Xingying was shocked, I suddenly asked her, Guan Xingying, do you know why the boss deflected my attack? Guan Xingying came back to her senses and asked me in confusion, do you not know about perfect parry? Seeing my blank expression, she began to explain. It is an advanced technique for dealing with physical attacks. You need to find the opening at the moment the enemy's attack arrives, and then defend. If you succeed, you can avoid the attack damage, and even cause the enemy to stagger. I have played many video games, and Guan Xingying's explanation made sense to me immediately. It is like parrying in games. Guan Xingying nodded. That is right, but the premise of perfect parry is that it can only be an instant defense. So this technique has huge rewards but also huge risks. Once a perfect parry fails, you take full damage. While Guan Xingying was speaking, the Luo Cha King used Sword Flash again, appearing in front of me in an instant and swinging its sword. I immediately controlled Qi Xiao to block in front of me, attempting a perfect parry. But the Luo Cha King was too fast. I could not react in time and the parry failed. The Luo Cha King slashed me hard with its sword. I winced in pain and had to summon other iron swords to push the Luo Cha King back. At the same time, I controlled 10 flying swords to attack the Luo Cha King, but all of them were perfectly parried by the Luo Cha King. After steadying myself, I asked Guan Xingying for 3 bottles of healing potions, because this dungeon only allowed 3 bottles, since all my attacks would be parried by it. The only way to deal damage was to land a perfect parry. With my current constitution, I could withstand 3 hits from the Luo Cha King, plus the continuous health recovery from Constellation 3. I could take 4 hits. A Zhongzi health potion could fully restore my health. 3 Zhongzi potions meant 12 hits, plus I could still take 2 more hits. That made a total of 14 chances. If I could master the perfect parry technique within 14 attacks, then this hidden boss might not be impossible. Guan Xingying saw that I wanted to perfect parry the Luo Cha King's second phase attacks, and shouted in shock. Perfect parry depends on strength and agility. The Luocha King is very fast. Can your agility keep up with it? I have my own way. I replied briefly and then used attribute conversion, converting all my mental into strength and agility. The next moment, my mental attribute dropped to 0. Strength and agility became 1,845 and 1,770 respectively. When the principal saw it, he exclaimed, "It is the only hidden class Sword Array Master." This meant that this class was unique in the entire world. Unless I died, no third Sword Array Master would ever appear in this world. Then in the following few draws, I drew an unprecedented full constellation set. Then after clearing a few dungeons to increase my strength, I came to a hidden dungeon with Guan Xinying, because the boss could perfect parry all damage. To deal damage to it, I could only use the counter damage from perfect parries as well. At that moment, I used attribute conversion, converting all my mental into strength and agility. The next moment, my mental attribute dropped to 0. Strength and agility became 1,845 and 1,770 respectively. All the flying swords clattered to the ground, and I could no longer control them. But I felt my strength and speed increase significantly. Then I gripped Qi Xiao and focused entirely on the Luocha King. Transforming from a mage into a warrior, the Luocha King seemed to sense my fighting spirit, and used its skill again, charging at me as a red light. With greatly increased strength and speed, I could barely track the Luocha King's movements. I attempted a perfect parry again, but still failed. The Luocha King thrust its sword into me and my health was instantly reduced to 1/3. Then the Luocha King gracefully stepped back to create distance. Seeing that it attacked and retreated in one move, confirmed my suspicion. This hidden boss was a trial, and the trial content was perfect parrying. Moments later, the Luocha King used its skill again. I attempted a perfect parry again. Failed again, my health bottomed out. I immediately took out a bottle of intermediate healing potion and drank it. The Luocha King used its skill once more. I tried to perfect parry again. At this moment in the dojo, the Luocha King was like a strict master, and I was the stubborn apprentice, repeating the same moves over and over. Guan Xinying outside the dojo was completely stunned. She never expected that I was only level 17, and was actually using the Luocha King to practice perfect parrying. After I drank the third intermediate healing potion, I finally succeeded once with a perfect parry, deflecting the Luocha King's sword. I quickly seized the opportunity to deactivate attribute conversion, and controlled Qi Xiao to pierce the Luocha King's chest. The Luocha King's health bar hit 0 and it knelt on the spot. Guan Xinying saw that I had successfully hit the Luocha King and was overjoyed. But before she could congratulate me, the Luocha King suddenly burst out with an extremely powerful pressure, then activated the skills Indomitable Will and King's Pressure. The entire dojo began to shake violently. The Luocha King let out a roar and stood up again. Its heavy armor fell off, revealing scarred and bulging muscles. Seeing this, I grinned and stored all the flying swords into the sword array space. After repeated practice, I had already figured out the Luocha King's attack patterns. As the Luocha King charged at me as a red light, I controlled 9 iron swords to fly forward. One of them happened to hit the Luocha King's opening, deflecting its sword. I seized the opportunity to summon the 10th sword, Qi Xiao. A red light flashed through and pierced the Luocha King's heart. The next second, the system prompt sounded. Successfully killed Luocha King. Experience +1, 00000. Obtained equipment Luocha King Mask. Summon Luocha King to fight alongside you. If the Luocha King falls, it will recover on its own within the mask. Obtained 1 Luocha King Heart. Completed Legendary Trial. Obtained Skill Parry Instinct. Effect: the first parry is always a perfect parry. Detected that the host has achieved the achievement. First Legendary Trial. Reward: Awakened Advanced Talent. I am Legend. Effect: if a dungeon contains a Legendary Trial, after clearing the dungeon, an item that opens the trial will always drop. These rewards were all first placed in the team leader Guan Xinying's backpack. Then she walked up, handed me the Luocha King Mask and the Luocha King Heart and said, "Zhang Yuan, you take these. This battle was completely cleared by you alone. These 2 epic items should theoretically go to you." I glanced at the Luocha King Mask and the Luocha King Heart, but only took the Luocha King Mask. I said since we agreed to split equally, then everything should be split equally, not based on contribution. Guan Xinying was surprised. Do you know how much an epic item is worth? This Luocha King Heart is worth at least tens of millions. I firmly shook my head and said, even 100 million should be split equally. This is a principle, it has nothing to do with money. Besides, without the hidden key you provided, and the information about perfect parrying and 3 bottles of healing potions, I could not have defeated the Luocha King either. After hearing this, Guan Xinying's gaze toward me changed subtly. I put away the Luocha King Mask and walked toward the treasure chest in the center of the dojo. That was the reward for defeating the boss. And this chest was the reward for clearing the Luocha River dungeon. Equipment and materials obtained from defeating the boss are directly given to the team. The leader then distributes them, but the first cleared chest reward is unique to each person. Guan Xinying had already cleared the Luocha River dungeon, So this chest was exclusive to me. After opening the chest, I obtained 1 divine stone and 5 Truzi skill scrolls. As I received the rewards, the chest in the dojo disappeared. The dungeon teleport exit appeared, and the 2 of us teleported out. After coming out, Guan Xinying directly transferred 3 million to my account. This was truly a pleasant cooperation. Let us add each other as friends. We can cooperate again in the future. I did not agree to Guan Xinying, directly left the team, and walked away without looking back. Hey, you just took the money and left. Is this how you treat women? After returning home, I took out the fake compass and won 5 elementary skill scrolls. I did not expect to get another divine stone so soon. At this rate, I could get a fully refined exclusive weapon before the college entrance exam. With this thought in mind, I first used 15 beginner skill scrolls, obtained duplicate skills, skill proficiency increased, toxin resistance raised to level 10, obtained 100% toxin resistance. Then I took out the newly obtained divine stone and prepared to draw. I placed the divine stone into the compass. The next moment, the magic array on the compass lit up. Countless cards spun in the array. Finally, a red card flew out. I thought I would draw another Qi Xiao again, so that Qi Xiao could reach refinement tier 4 comparable to a divine tier weapon. But the next moment, the system sound rang out. Obtained divine sword, Zhan Lu exclusive tier 1. Attack plus 1000. Damage plus 100%. Automatically protects the wielder, immune to water attribute attacks. Note, one of the 10 great swords protects its master, suppresses evil, and cleanses the world. After reading it, I was stunned on the spot. So it was possible to have more than one exclusive weapon. Suddenly, a terrifying thought surged in my mind. Other classes only have 1 exclusive weapon. I have never heard of anyone having multiple exclusive weapons, but I could have 10. Then in the late game, if all 10 exclusive weapons were fully refined, would that not mean I could have 10 divine tier weapons at the same time? Thinking of this possibility, my breathing quickened considerably. Any divine tier weapon had heaven-destroying power. Even those professionals who have reached the god tier level. At this moment, someone knocked on the door. I immediately stored Zhan Lu into the sword array space and went to open the door only to see Xia Zhaoyang standing at the door with a smile. I recognized Xia Zhaoyang at a glance and said, "Sorry. I have already decided to take the Kyoto University exam. Do not worry. I am not here to stop you from taking the Kyoto University exam." After I went back that day, I reported your situation to the highest command. The chiefs value you highly and held meetings for 3 consecutive days. They decided to make an exception to let you enter the Qianlong detachment as a non-staff member. This way, you can still continue to pursue university. Seeing my confusion, he explained to me, that is a secret unit of our country. Only the elite of the elite can enter the Qianlong detachment. Hearing this, I asked him what benefits there were after joining. As long as you join the Qianlong detachment, the military will be your biggest backing. Throughout the entire Great Xia, no one dares to bully you. In addition, various military resources will be tilted toward you. Afterwards, you can not only enjoy the resources of Kyoto University, but also the military's exclusive dungeon resources, equipment, and various types of intelligence. You will also have the same access rights. Currently, you are the only person who can enjoy both university and military resources. There is no such thing as a free lunch. Since the military has given me corresponding benefits, I also need to bear corresponding responsibilities. Thinking of this, I asked him what I needed to do. I will not hide this from you. After you join the Qianlong detachment, you will need to carry out military missions. Of course, since you are still a rookie, the military will mainly focus on training. In the early stage, it is basically training missions. It will not affect your identity as a Kyoto University student. Even in the later stage as a special forces soldier, the military will not assign you ordinary tasks. You will become a sharp blade of the empire. I pondered for a moment, and then thought of my grandmother's special merit badge. If it were my grandmother, she would definitely want me to serve the country. Thinking of this, I nodded slightly and agreed to join the Qianlong detachment. Xia Zhaoyang immediately became excited and added, "By the way, to join the Qianlong detachment, besides needing a recommendation from the command, you also need to pass the Qianlong detachment trial. Train hard these days, and when you reach level 15, I will take you to participate in the Qianlong trial. With your strength, you will definitely pass. After that, you will officially join the Qianlong detachment with the rank of major." Hearing this, I said that I could already go and take the trial. Xia Zhaoyang was stunned and cast a detection spell on me. Finding that I was already level 18, he was greatly surprised. Xia Zhaoyang's eyes nearly popped out. He asked me how I did it. Even Kyoto University, the top university in Great Xia, required students to reach level 19 within 1 month. Yet I had reached level 18 inches just 3 days. I replied calmly. I cleared another abyss dungeon and gained quite a bit of experience. Then I cleared the Luo Cha River dungeon on nightmare difficulty and reached level 18. Xia Zhaoyang seemed to have heard something astonishing and exclaimed, "So the person who cleared the Shadow Forest Abyss dungeon was you?" I heard that the level 70 Abyss Boss Odys appeared in that dungeon and was repelled. "Was that also your doing?" After receiving my affirmative answer, he said to me, "I need to report this to the command, please wait." Excuse me for a moment. Soon Xia Zhaoyang rushed back in and said excitedly, "Zhang Yuan, Great News General 1 wants to see you in person." Come with me to the military district. After hearing this, I asked him who General 1 was. Xia Zhaoyang was also stunned and replied, "You do not know General 1 Chang'an. He is a legendary figure of our great Xia Empire. He is not only the highest commander of our defense forces, but also a divine-level warrior. There are no more than 10 people in the great Xia Empire with higher status than him. He is truly a big shot." "Oh, then let us go." I nodded slightly without much emotional fluctuation. With the Sword Array Masterclass, I was confident that in the near future, I would definitely reach the peak of the world. At this moment, Wan Chang'an had already teleported from Kyoto to Westlake City through the teleportation array. Xia Zhaoyang led me through multiple checkpoints to outside the command office. I saw 2 soldiers standing tall outside the door. I used Abyss Eye to check. It was also found that both soldiers were level 60 elite professionals. I could not help but marvel at such a grand display. After entering the command office, I saw several military officers in dark green uniforms standing inside. Among them, a middle-aged man exuded an incomparable, terrifying aura. The moment I saw that middle-aged man, I knew he was Wan Chang'an. His strength was not below Bai Zhengguo. Even the Abyss Boss Odis probably could not withstand a single slap from him here. Wan Chang'an simply turned around. His sharp gaze made Xia Zhaoyang beside him weak in the knees. But seeing me stand firm, he nodded slightly and said, "Not bad." As soon as he finished speaking, Wan Chang'an suddenly raised his hand. A sharp long sword appeared out of thin air, turning into a golden light and thrusting toward me. Its terrifying momentum swept in all directions. I lightly uttered a word, and Qi Xiao appeared out of thin air, activating the skill Parry Instinct. With a clang, Wan Chang'an's sword was deflected by Qi Xiao. The command office fell into dead silence. At that moment, everyone was stunned, including Wan Chang'an. No one expected that I, who was only level 18, could perfectly parry Wan Chang'an's attack. I had just awakened the hidden class Sword Array Master, and was already facing General 1, who was ranked among the top 10 in the world. Seeing that I could stand firm, under his pressure, he said, "Not bad." The next second, he suddenly raised his hand. A sharp long sword appeared out of thin air and thrust toward me. Fortunately, after awakening my class, I had drawn an unprecedented full constellation set. Seeing this, I quickly summoned my exclusive weapon, Qi Xiao, and activated the skill Parry Instinct. With a clang, Wan Chang'an's sword was deflected by Qi Xiao. At this moment, everyone was stunned in place. No one expected that I, who was only level 18, could perfectly parry General 1's attack. Wan Chang'an coughed twice to ease the embarrassment and nodded at me. "Good kid, you are indeed impressive. To be able to block my sword. No wonder old Bai speaks so highly of you." I bowed slightly and replied without arrogance. "I only used a skill that guarantees a successful parry. It was just luck, nothing worth mentioning." At this moment, the others in the command office also showed expressions of sudden realization. That made sense if it were not a skill. A rookie with only 2.5 days of training could never have blocked Wan Chang'an's sword. Wan Chang'an saw that I had taken the initiative to explain and help him save face. He became more and more satisfied with me, and immediately took a pair of boots out of his storage space and handed them to me. "Although you blocked my sword with a skill, your performance has already far exceeded my expectations. These boots have been with me for many years now. I give them to you." The others around all changed expressions and exclaimed, "Commander, that is." Wan Chang'an interrupted the others and said, "This is my decision. Do not talk too much. Everyone leave. I want to talk to this kid alone." I took the boots and checked their information. Wind Riding Boots, legendary tier equipment. Strength, plus 1000. Agility, plus 1000. Mental plus 1000. Constitution plus 1000. Wind attribute damage reduction, 50% wielder. Gains the skill Wind Riding. After using the skill, movement speed increases by 100%. When I saw the Wind Riding Boots attributes, my pupils shrank slightly. I looked at Wan Chang'an in shock. "This is legendary tier equipment. It is too precious." Wan Chang'an waved his hand and smiled. "It is equipment I obtained early on. It accompanied me for over 20 years. Now I have no use for it anymore. I will give it to you so that it can shine again. This is my sincere gesture. Do not refuse." I did not stand on ceremony and immediately equipped the Wind Riding Boots. Instantly, I felt my whole body become much lighter, as if I could jump to the sky with one leap. Wan Chang'an looked at me with a smile and continued, "Zhang Yuan, do you know why I wanted to see you in person? Is it not because of Captain Shah's report? That is only one aspect. But it is not the main reason why I decided to meet you in person." After hearing this, I was stunned and asked him why. "Your grandmother was my teacher, and your parents were once my subordinates." Hearing this, my pupils shrank slightly. There is such a thing. I have never heard my grandmother mention it. After she retired, she no longer discussed military affairs. Since your parents disappeared, she has even refused to see me. It is not just you. Most people in the military now do not know that I once had a teacher. But that is not what I want to tell you today. What I want to talk about is your parents. I was moved, although since transmigrating here, I had never met the original host's parents because of the host's influence. I also had a strong emotional connection to these parents I had never met. Someone has found traces of them on the Abyss front line, but they seem to have become Abyss bosses. After hearing this, my surprise turned into shock. After a moment of thought, I said to Wan Chang'an, "Commander, if there is any news about my parents, please inform me immediately." After finishing that, Wan Chang'an changed the subject. He handed me a Qianlong detachment badge and said, "I originally wanted to test in person, whether you are qualified to join the Qianlong detachment. But from the looks of it, there seems to be no need for a test. From this moment on, you are Major Zhang Yuan. I stood straight and replied firmly, yes sir. Wan Chang'an seemed to see those two subordinates he had once been most proud of. A gentle smile appeared on his face and he said warmly, welcome to the Qianlong detachment. After granting me my rank, Wan Chang'an teleported away with his personal guards. As the commander of the Great Xia Defense Forces, Wan Chang'an had many duties, taking a short amount of time. To meet with me was already his limit. After Wan Chang'an left, Xia Zhaoyang took me to the cafeteria for a meal, while introducing the military situation and the many benefits for soldiers. When Xia Zhaoyang mentioned the skill training hall, I was particularly curious and asked, what is the skill training hall? The skill training hall is where our soldiers improve their skill levels. The efficiency of practicing skills there is greatly increased. The skill training hall is a unique facility of our military, nowhere else has it. After hearing this, a flash of surprise appeared in my eyes. I was already level 18 now, but the two skills sword array and sword control were only level 3. I did not know when they would reach the next level. If the skill training hall could increase skill levels, then my combat power would see a huge leap. Thinking of this, I could not wait to ask, can I go to the skill training hall? Of course you can. This is already part of your benefits. However, we only have one elementary skills training hall here. At most, it can quickly raise your skill levels to level 5. If you want to use a more advanced skill training hall, you will have to report to the Qianlong detachment in Kyoto. I replied in surprise. Reaching level 5 is already great my skill levels. Reaching level 5 would be another big improvement. After Xia Zhaoyang sent me into the skill training hall, a soldier outside the hall smiled and asked Xia Zhaoyang, Captain Xia, how long do you think that kid can last in the training hall? Xia Zhaoyang held up 5 fingers and said confidently 5 days. The soldier was surprised. He is still a student, right? Would a person really not go crazy staying in that hellish place for 5 days? While Xia Zhaoyang and the soldiers were talking, I had already been teleported into the training ground. As soon as I entered, I heard an intelligent female voice. Welcome to the Basic Skills Training Hall. Do you need a customized training package? A flash of surprise appeared in my eyes. Everything here was new to me. I immediately answered yes. Then I felt a wave of light. Scan my body once. Scan complete. Currently upgradable skills are Sword Array level 3, Sword Control level 3, Attribute Conversion level 1, Training 16 hours per day, estimated upgrade time 20 days. Would you like to start training now? I thought for a moment. There were still 27 days until the National College entrance exam, and I was already level 18. Even if I trained here for 20 days, I would still have a week to level up. Even if I just soloed the Luo Cha River dungeon repeatedly, it would be enough to reach level 19. As for the 16 hours of daily training, with my current mental of over 3,000, it should not be difficult to endure. Thinking of this, I sent messages to my grandmother and aunt, explaining my current situation and that I would not be home for 20 days. After reporting to my family, I chose to start training. The next moment, a training dummy rose from the center of the room. Training begins. First, use the skill Sword Array. Then use the skill Sword Control to attack the dummy. Repeat 100 times. As the intelligent voice gave the training plan, I began to deploy the Sword Array, summoning 10 iron swords from the Sword Array space to attack the dummy in the room. At this moment, I felt that using Sword Control in this room was much more comfortable than outside. Soon 100 repetitions were completed. I tried to control the iron swords again and found they were somewhat smoother. The training intensity in the skill training hall was far greater than I had imagined. When the first day of training ended, I was almost completely exhausted. I did not even have the strength to wash up and fell asleep immediately. Although the training intensity here was high, the results were also gratifying. In just the first day, my sword control skill level had risen to level 4. Early the next morning, I was woken from my sweet dreams by 3 splashes of cold water. Day 2 training. Begin. Use sword control to attack the dummy 1,000 times. These 20 days, I ate, drank and slept in this training hall. When hungry, I ate. When tired, I slept. When awake, I continued training, repeatedly practicing skills in a mechanical manner to increase skill proficiency. 20 days passed in the blink of an eye. Congratulations on completing this training package. This skill training hall can no longer improve your skill levels. If you wish to continue improving, please go to an advanced skill training hall. As the intelligent voice sounded, I checked my skill information. Skill Sword Array level 5. Deploy Sword Array continuously consumes mental energy within a 50 meter radius. Critical damage increased by 140%. Sword Control level 5. Control flying swords to attack in the air. Power depends on sword quality. The wielder's mental and skill level. Attribute conversion level 5. Within the Sword Array, mental can be converted into strength, agility, and constitution. Conversion multiplier is 5x. Seeing that all 3 of my skills had reached level 5, I showed a relieved smile. I actually used 3 days to raise Sword Array and Sword Control to level 5. The remaining time was spent practicing attribute conversion. When I left the training hall, I saw a crowd of soldiers outside. Everyone looked at me with admiration. Seeing this scene, I was stunned and looked at Xia Zhaoyang, who was also waiting outside, and asked, "What is this? Why are you all here?" Xia Zhaoyang could not help but give me a thumbs up. Kid, you are really something. You actually lasted 20 days in the training hall. I asked in surprise. What is wrong with lasting 20 days? Was that not the customized training package? Xiao Zhaoyang looked at me like I was a freak and said, do you know that before you? The longest training record in this hall was 7 days. After leaving the military base, I rushed non-stop to the Luocha River dungeon east of the city. There was only 1 week left until the college entrance exam. I had to reach level 19 before the exam. Otherwise, I would not even have the qualification to take the Kyoto University exam. When I arrived outside the Luocha River dungeon again, I saw Lu Ruyan standing at the dungeon entrance. I immediately went up to greet her, and she said to me, how has your leveling been these days? Are you confident in getting into Kyoto University? Hearing Lu Ruyan's words, I used Abyss Eye on her. Lu Ruyan, Elf Saintess level 16. Seeing Lu Ruyan's level, I could not help but say, compared to me, you should be more worried about yourself. There are only 7 days left until the exam. Why are you only level 16? I worked hard to level up this myself. My level is already quite high, let me see what level you are. Lu Ruyan glared at me, and then cast a detection spell. After reading it, she opened her mouth wide and looked at me in disbelief. How did you reach level 18? Is it that hard just soloing nightmare dungeons a few times is enough? After some conversation I learned that she came to find me this time to take me to a secret realm dungeon. Seeing my confusion, she explained to me, this is different from naturally generated wild dungeons. Secret realm dungeons are special artificial dungeons, created by people at great cost. All the monsters in that dungeon are artificially created. The college entrance exam 7 days from now is actually held in a super large secret realm dungeon. So you brought me to a secret realm dungeon mainly to simulate the exam. That is one reason. There is another more important reason. A few days ago, the military announced a new policy. Students of our cohort can take the university exam while also joining the military special forces. To receive military resources for training, you should know that the military controls quite a few resources that even Kyoto University does not have. If we can receive military training, our future prospects would be limitless. This secret realm dungeon is actually a military assessment aimed at screening outstanding students. It is said that the best performing student might even have the chance to join the legendary Qianlong detachment. The major families have been fighting tooth and nail for just one spot to participate in the exam. I went through a lot of trouble to help. You get a spot in this secret realm dungeon. Hearing Liu Ruyan's words, the corner of my mouth twitched involuntarily, and I asked, so the secret realm dungeon is the Qianlong detachment trial? Liu Ruyan patted my shoulder and comforted me. Do not put too much pressure on yourself. Although the Qianlong detachment is hard to get into, I believe you will definitely make it in. After Liu Ruyan brought me outside the dungeon, I saw a familiar figure, and my gaze instantly turned cold. Wang Hu not far away also noticed me. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes, seeming surprised that I was still alive. But soon the surprise in his eyes turned into provocation, and he also made a throat-slitting gesture. Seeing Wang Hu's provocative action, I marked him in my mind as a dead man. But there were too many eyes here, and Wang Hu's elders might be nearby. It was not wise to act now. Now my sword array could cover a radius of 500 meters. There would be plenty of opportunities in the future to kill him without anyone knowing. Then a majestic voice sounded, this secret realm dungeon is a team dungeon. The trial participants here will be randomly grouped according to their classes, forming 4-person teams of damage, tank, healer, and support. As the voice faded, the old man opened the teleport entrance, and the light it emitted enveloped everyone. The next moment I found myself teleported to a forest at the entrance of an underground palace. Appearing together at the entrance were Lu Ruyan, a tall woman in knight armor, and Wang Hu holding a staff. Lu Ruyan saw that she was grouped with me and was overjoyed. Silly, we are in the same team. This seems to be our first time teaming up. Seeing the team composition, I immediately understood my role in the team. It seemed I was being treated as support, but I was not surprised by this. After all, I had the only hidden class, and outsiders did not understand my class's characteristics. The name Sword Array Master was also easily confused with Array Mage, so it was normal to be seen as support. At this moment, the tall woman walked over looking somewhat shy and spoke softly. My name is Miao Shulan, level 17 Holy Shield Knight, Zhang Yuan, level 18 Sword Array Master, and Lu Ruyan, level 16 class Elf Saintess. Then Wang Hu suddenly spoke. What bad luck, I am a level 19 Fire Mage. Why did I get grouped with a useless support? This trial is definitely doomed now. Lu Ruyan heard Wang Hu's voice and said displeased. Wang Hu, why are you everywhere? Do not think I do not know. Your level was completely rely on high-level professionals to carry you up the rankings. You are the one holding us back. Wang Hu sneered. Family background is also a form of strength. And did you not hear the rules? A team only has one damage dealer. Without me, this team cannot even kill a monster. Why not let Zhang Yuan, that useless support, try killing a monster? He probably cannot even break through their defense. Miao Shulan, seeing the tension in the team grow, quickly stepped in to mediate. Everyone stop arguing. This secret realm dungeon requires team cooperation to clear. Damage dealers and supports are both indispensable. I suggest we put aside our grudges and work together to clear it. With that, Miao Shulan looked at Wang Hu and tried to calm him. Mage, please calm down. We will need you for damage in this dungeon. You are magnanimous. Why not carry us through the dungeon? Ha! Want me to carry that useless brat? No way. Either Zhang Yuan quits the dungeon now, then I can take Yana through the secret realm dungeon, or we all just slack off together. Seeing that Wang Hu was stubborn and unreasonable, a hint of anger also rose in Miao Shulan's eyes, but she quickly suppressed it. She had traveled alone from a border county to participate in this secret realm trial, crossing a mountain range filled with level 30 wild monsters, just to make it to Westlake City, all to show her skills in the secret realm dungeon. But she never expected that before she even started, she would encounter such a disgusting person. Hearing this, I said calmly, since that is the case, then get lost yourself. Wang Hu looked at me in shock and roared, do you not understand the situation? I am the indispensable damage dealer for this team, and you are just a dispensable useless support. I also suggest you get out immediately. Without you, the team might progress faster. Miao Shulan finally could not hold it in and directly punched Wang Hu down. You are really a level 19 moron. I have had enough of this. If you want to clear this dungeon, then do it. If not, then get out. Do not keep whining like a woman. It is so noisy. I clearly awakened the SSS class Sword Array Master, but my teammates despise me as a useless support, because Sword Array Master is the only hidden class that is not understood by the world. But I not only awakened this divine class, I also drew 6 consecutive times and got an unprecedented full constellation set. But today, during the National College Entrance Exam Team Dungeon, the only damage dealer in the team said I would hold the team back and insisted on kicking me out before he would continue. Just as I was about to teach this hater a lesson, the tank in the team could not stand it anymore and beat him away. After calming down, she felt extremely regretful, because now without a damage dealer, it was impossible to clear the dungeon. Seeing this, I just smiled and told her I was the damage dealer. With that, I walked straight into the underground palace passage, and Liu Ruyan followed without hesitation. Miao Shulan saw the two enter and thought since she was already here, she might as well give it a try. After entering, Miao Shulan said to me, if we encounter monsters, give me buffs. I have 2 attack skills. If you have attack buffs, I should be able to grind them down. After hearing that, I told her I had no support skills. Miao Shulan was stunned and then said, then you can apply defense reduction debuffs to the monsters. I do not have that either. What about crowd control? I do not have that either. Miao Shulan was confused and looked at me in surprise. Then what are your support skills? I already told you. I am the damage dealer. But this secret realm dungeon has a rule. Only 1 damage dealer per team, and that one already quit. Maybe because I have a hidden class, the examiners misjudged. A flash of joy appeared in Miao Shulan's eyes, although it would still be difficult without support. At least we could fight. Suddenly an armored knight charged at us. Miao Shulan's eyes flashed with brilliance, and she immediately used taunt on the monster. With a sound, the monster's greatsword slashed onto Miao Shulan's shield, but she did not budge at all. I immediately used Abyss Eye on this monster. Elite monster, Armored Knight level 20. Strength 1800. Agility 1200. Mental 800. Constitution 1000. The next moment, with a thought, an iron sword flew out of the sword array space, piercing the headless armor, instantly dealing 738963 damage to it. Then the system prompt successfully killed Headless Knight experience plus 2000. Obtained 1 armor fragment. Miao Shulan was still applying buffs to herself when she suddenly saw the kill prompt. She was startled. What just happened? Liu Ruyan's eyes also widened, looking at me in disbelief. Although she knew I was strong, this was the first time she had seen my attack power with her own eyes, seeing their surprised expressions. I just said calmly, basic moves, nothing to see. My mental was now as high as 3160, and both sword array and sword control had reached level 5. If I equipped tier 3, Qi Xiao, and tier 1, Zhan Lu, the damage could even reach over 20 million. But since this secret realm dungeon was a trial, the trial rating depended on performance in the dungeon. I had to hold back. Otherwise, just with constellation splash damage, I could clear all the monsters in the entire palace. Then Liu Ruyan and Miao Shulan would have no chance to perform, and their scores would definitely be very low. Then I called them out of their days, and we continued advancing. Miao Shulan took the front, Liu Ruyan applied buffs in the middle, and I cleaned up the small mobs from behind. The 3 of us pushed through the underground palace. No matter what it was, elite knights, gargoyle statues, elemental mages, all monsters were slaughtered. If I had not deliberately let the monsters get close to attack, to highlight the importance of Miao Shulan and Liu Ruyan, the 2 women would not even have seen a monster's shadow. Liu Ruyan never imagined clearing a dungeon would be so easy. When she joined random teams, the healing pressure was quite high. She always had to stay alert to prevent teammates from being one-shot. She used to lose half her life just clearing 1 dungeon, but now she only needed to symbolically throw out some heals to keep Miao Shulan's health above the safe line at all times. Miao Shulan felt the same way as Liu Ruyan. She had never seen anyone as fierce as me. Soon we reached the boss room of the underground palace. Coming all the way, Liu Ruyan had reached level 17. Miao Shulan had also reached level 18. I was less than 10% experience away from level 19. Miao Shulan shouted excitedly, "So this is what it feels like to be carried by a big shot. It is absolutely amazing." Liu Ruyan also said, Silly, if I had known you were this strong, why would I have bothered leveling up so hard? You could have just carried me. I smiled bitterly and said, do not forget this dungeon is for the trial. Although I have been holding back as much as possible, I feel that both of your scores will not be very high at this rate. Hearing my words, Miao Shulan finally realized. We were in an exam, not just leveling, so what should we do? I have an idea. The boss room is ahead. I will not attack. You two hold out against the boss's attacks for half an hour first, to build up your data, and then I will finish the boss. When we entered the boss room, we saw a giant knight statue over 10 meters tall, with a huge stone sword beside it. I immediately used Abyss Eye on the boss. Boss Knight King statue, level 21. Strength 5000. Agility 3000. Mental 1000. Constitution 6000. Skills Trample, Great Cleave. The Night King statue spotted us and charged forward. Miao Shulan did not hesitate to step forward and raise her shield. I will hold the line, Yana buff me. Lu Ruyan chanted, and one after another rays of light flashed over Miao Shulan, directly increasing her constitution by 50%. The Night King statue swung its giant stone sword and slashed hard onto Miao Shulan's shield. The floor beneath Miao Shulan's feet cracked, but she stood firm like a rock. Lu Ruyan immediately threw a continuous heal at Miao Shulan. Soon Miao Shulan's health was fully restored. Miao Shulan praised Lu Ruyan loudly, then used the skill Holy Charge on the Night King statue, directly knocking the Night King statue to the ground. With a loud crash, the giant Night King statue fell heavily. Seeing the two women's performance, I was completely relieved, and honestly played the role of a bystander. Both Holy Shield Knight and Elf Saintess were rare classes. Miao Shulan's shield did not look like ordinary equipment either. Together they could probably even withstand a level 30 boss. This boss could not hurt them. At the same time, in a special room within the Secret Realm dungeon, several middle-aged men stood with dignified expressions and powerful auras. They all wore Qianlong detachment instructor uniforms, and were all above level 70. They were the examiners responsible for this Qianlong detachment trial. One instructor enlarged the image of the three of us clearing the dungeon boss and said, "Come look, Westlake City has an interesting team over there. Why does this team only have 3 people?" I checked the back end. The mage of this team left early. They pushed all the way to the boss room with just 3 people. Interesting, a team without a damage dealer actually managed to reach the boss room so quickly. They are not simple. What are their classes? Elf, Saintess, Holy Shield Knight, and a Sword Array Master. That seems to be a new class, but why do I feel like I've heard of it? Not long ago, General Wan went to Westlake City in person to recruit a student. That student's class was Sword Array Master, and only hidden class. The instructors discussed and all focused on me. But after waiting for over 10 minutes, they did not see me make a move. Everyone showed puzzled looks. What does this kid mean by not moving at all? This is not how you slack off. At least he should buff his teammates. The 2 girls have good combat awareness. They have been tanking the boss for so long, and their health is still quite healthy. If trained well, they could become strong. Agreed, the 2 of them could be considered for recruitment into the Qianlong detachment. As for Zhang Yuan, he has been slacking off the whole time. We cannot see his strength. Let us wait a bit after all. This kid is the one General Wan chose. Maybe he is charging up some big move. The instructors watched for another 10 minutes, and I still showed no sign of acting. I have figured it out. This guy is not charging up any big move. He does not have any support abilities either. He was probably carried all the way by the 2 girls. I did not expect General Wan to misjudge someone. He actually recruited a fraudulent kid into the Qianlong detachment. After this trial ends, we will report Zhang Yuan's situation to the command. We cannot recruit such a waste into the Qianlong detachment. Inside the dungeon, I estimated the time, and felt it was about right. So I said to Miao Shulan and Lu Ruyan, who were fighting hard ahead, "Time is about up. You 2 step aside, leave the rest to me." After they withdrew, I deployed the sword array. Chi Xiao appeared beside me and then turned into a red light, piercing through the Night King statue's head. Successfully killed. Night King statue experience plus 30000. In the special room, the instructors looked at each other. All fell silent. What just happened? Then everyone looked at a man whose class was Array Mage. Zhang Yuan clearly used some kind of formation skill. Maybe the Array Mage can see something. But at that moment, the Array Mage also smiled bitterly. I did not see clearly what formation he used either, but what he used in the formation seemed to be a normal attack. An instructor exclaimed after hearing that, "How could a normal attack one-shot the boss? Was he charging up for the over 20 minutes before? His formation was deployed instantly. I could tell that much. Then this kid is a bit overpowering. Level 18 one-shotting a level 21 boss." At that moment, Wan Chang'an appeared in the room. The instructors immediately saluted Wan Chang'an. Wan Chang'an smiled. I heard that Zhang Yuan also came to take the trial. I came to check on how it is going. Several instructors recounted what had just happened. Wan Chang'an looked at the light screen, where the 3 were distributing the boss loot. He pondered for a moment, then said, "Adjust the dungeon parameters and spawn a level 30 boss for them." The instructors all changed expression. One instructor worried, would a level 30 boss be too dangerous for them? Remember, the difficulty of this Secret Realm dungeon is defaulted to Nightmare difficulty. A level 30 Nightmare boss usually requires a 5-person team with an average level of 35 to clear. Zhang Yuan's team currently has only 3 people, and the highest level is only 18. Even if the Sword Array Master hidden class is comparable to a legendary class, it would be impossible to definitely win against a level 30 boss. Wan Chang'an just smiled. Do not worry. That kid, Zhang Yuan, not only repelled the level 70 Abyss Boss Odis, he even perfectly parried my sword. That kid actually blocked the sword of a top 10 war god of Great Sha. The shock on everyone's faces grew even stronger. Even they could not block a single sword from Wan Chang'an. At this moment, as the three of us were dividing the dungeon rewards, a light screen suddenly appeared in the boss room. Then a boss identical to the Night King statue walked out of the light screen. A flash of surprise appeared in my eyes. There is actually a new boss. Miao Shulan immediately raised her shield to block in front of the two. No matter how many bosses there are, with your damage, we kill as many as come. As she spoke, Miao Shulan used taunt on the new boss. The new boss immediately swung its stone sword, cutting onto Miao Shulan's shield. With a boom, a terrifying shockwave swept outward. Miao Shulan was pushed back several steps, and her health instantly dropped below half. Just as she was shocked, a green light suddenly shone on her. Her nearly depleted health was instantly filled. Miao Shulan turned to look at Liu Ruyan, who was waving her staff, and gave her a thumbs up. Good job, Yan. Liu Ruyan smiled and said, Sister Miao, do not worry. My healing is very strong, you will be safe. But at that moment, the new boss's aggro suddenly shifted to Liu Ruyan. It raised its stone greatsword and swung at Liu Ruyan. Caught off guard, Liu Ruyan saw the giant sword coming. She could not dodge in time and her face turned pale. Miao Shulan roared and used the skill Holy Charge. Holding up her shield, she knocked the new boss off balance, then taunted the boss again. The new boss's stone greatsword slashed at Miao Shulan's shield once more. But this time, Miao Shulan used some kind of super armor skill and held firm. Yana, do not be afraid, I have you covered. Give me heals. Liu Ruyan reacted quickly and threw heals at Miao Shulan, while continuously applying buffs to Miao Shulan to increase her defense and tenacity. I, who was at the very back, saw Miao Shulan and Liu Ruyan struggling so much, immediately used Abyss Eye on the new boss. Boss Night King, statue level 30, strength 10000, agility 5000, mental 2000, constitution 12000, skills trample, great cleave, self-heal. I saw that the Night King statue's level had become 30, and judging by its attributes, it was still nightmare difficulty. My first thought was Abyss Invasion. I shouted for them to get out of the way, and immediately urged Qi Xiao to shoot at the Night King statue. The red light pierced through the statue's chest, successfully killed Night King statue experience plus 70000. Then a golden light burst from my body and I reached level 19. The instructors saw the level 30 boss, still being one-shot by my normal attack, and were so shocked their jaws almost dropped. Even a legendary class probably could not do that. That kid Zhang Yuan's sword should be an exclusive weapon, right? This attack power is simply too heaven-defying. Even with an exclusive weapon, one should not one-shot a level 30 boss. Could he have already awakened a talent? Now that is probably the only explanation. The instructor's view of me had completely changed. They all looked at Wan Chang'an and asked, should we increase the difficulty further? Now they all wanted to see where my limit really was. Wan Chang'an shook his head. No need, if the boss's level gets any higher. Those two girls would be in danger. We can talk about it after he reports to the Qianlong detachment. This trial can end now. All three of them get an S-rank evaluation. Zhang Yuan's rank is promoted to Lieutenant Colonel. At the same time, the three of us were teleported back to Yunhai village. In the square, while the other trial participants, whether they had defeated the secret realm dungeon boss or not, were also teleported back. Seeing that my team had returned, I let out a sigh of relief. It seemed I was overthinking. Having encountered 2 abyss dungeons in a row, Wang Hu, who had been waiting outside, saw that we had finally come out, and immediately came up to mock us. So without my damage, you had a hard time killing monsters, right? This is what you get for siding with Zhang Yuan. Miao Shulan raised her fist. Do you want another beating? Then a majestic voice sounded. The trial is over now, announcing the results for the Westlake City region. Zhang Yuan rank S first place. Miao Shulan rank S second place. Liu Ruyan rank S third place. Zuo Yue rank a fourth place. It took a long time before Wang Hu's name was called. Wang Hu rank F unqualified. Then someone in the crowd mocked. I remember now, that idiot Wang Hu was in the same team as the top 3, right? He quit the dungeon at the start and ended up missing out on being carried. That is hilarious. Why would he quit? At this moment, Wang Hu wished he could crawl into a hole. After he left, I thought to myself, if I let Wang Hu live any longer, there would probably be stronger assassins coming. With that thought, I quickly ran to the restroom, and seeing no one around, I took out the Luo Cha King mask. Then the mask glowed red and the Luo Cha King flew out of the mask and knelt before me. Unlike the Luo Cha King in the dungeon, the Luo Cha King summoned by the mask was human-sized, without using a detection spell. It was hard to tell whether the Luo Cha King was human or a summon. The battle has begun. The battle has begun. I finally went all out and deployed the sword array. In just an instant, I killed all the strong within a 2-kilometer radius, just now in order to prevent Wang Hu from sending more assassins after me. I used the mask obtained from defeating the Luo Cha King. Then the mask glowed red and the Luo Cha King flew out of the mask and knelt before me. I immediately checked the Luo Cha King's attributes, and found that all its attributes had not decreased at all. Then I gave an order to the Luo Cha King, follow Wang Hu and do not be detected. The Luo Cha King nodded slightly, and turned into a blur rushing out of the restroom, disappearing in the blink of an eye. As expected of 10,000 agility, the speed was incredible. Then I looked at the Luo Cha King mask in my hand. After the Luo Cha King left, I could establish a special connection with the Luo Cha King through the mask. I could also share the Luo Cha King's vision, and even control its movements. I did not expect this mask to be so useful in the future when exploring dangerous places. I could send the Luo Cha King to step on traps first. Then I returned to the entrance of the secret realm dungeon. Li Xue saw me and immediately waved, saying, "The instructors have started distributing rewards. The rewards this time are quite generous. Even A-rank trial participants get a level up pill." Hearing this, I asked her what a level up pill was. Li Xue explained, "That is a particularly precious pill. This can directly raise professionals below level 20 by 1 level." I was surprised such a thing existed. I heard that this level up pill is refined by the military's grand alchemists, and is a unique military resource, it is said. There are even more advanced level up pills, but those are strategic resources. Ordinary people cannot see them. I was slightly shocked, but soon understood the value of level up pills. If the military suffered heavy losses in wartime, level up pills could quickly produce a high-level army for Great Xia in a short time. After distributing the rewards, the instructor walked over to us and smiled. "Congratulations on your S-rank scores. You are qualified to join the Qianlong detachment. Before I give you your special rewards, I still need to ask, are you willing to join the Qianlong detachment?" Miao Shulan and Li Xue agreed without hesitation. The instructor nodded with satisfaction. "Good, my name is Ning Wuwei. From now on, I will be your instructor." Li Xue saw that Ning Wuwei did not wait for my answer and said, "Instructor Ning Zhangyuan has not answered yet." Ning Wuwei glanced at me and smiled. The reason our military introduced the policy of recruiting non-staff members was because of this kid. He already joined the Qianlong detachment long ago. Li Xue was dumbfounded and then looked at me in shock. Then the instructor began to distribute rewards to the three of us. He took out 3 level up pills from his storage space, and 3 gilded black cards. Li Xue recognized the gilded black card at a glance and exclaimed, "This is a Sky Tower entry ticket." Ning Wuwei saw that Li Xue recognized the Sky Tower entry ticket at a glance, and a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. Then he said, "That is right, this is a Sky Tower entry ticket. With this card you can challenge the Sky Tower once." Miao Shulan and I asked in unison, "What is the Sky Tower?" Before Ning Wuwei could answer, Li Xue explained, "That is the most precious dungeon of our Great Xia Empire. This dungeon only allows 1,000 people in each year. The entry qualification is extremely precious." Ning Wuwei added, "The Sky Tower contains exceptionally precious treasures, and might even drop divine tier equipment. And the first challenge of the Sky Tower also gives extra rewards. You must cherish this opportunity." After the rewards were distributed, I did not take the level up pill immediately. After putting both rewards into my storage space, I went down the mountain alone. Then I first converted my mental attribute into agility at 5x, and then used the wind riding boots built-in skill to increase movement speed by 100%. At that moment I was like the wind, and quickly caught up with the Luo Cha King, who was following Wang Hu. Standing beside Wang Hu was a middle-aged man in a suit. I used Abyss Eye on the middle-aged man, Zhang Cheng, level 48 Water Magister. The next second, I directly ordered the Luo Cha King, and it turned into a blur and rushed out. Using the skill Sword Flash, Zhang Yesheng's gaze turned sharp. A grimoire immediately appeared in his hand. Then water shields formed around him and Wang Hu. The Luo Cha King's sword slashed at the water shield and sank into it. Wang Hu saw the long sword that almost reached his head, and fell to the ground in fright, his face turning pale. He thought he had encountered a field boss. Zhang Cheng felt the Luo Cha King's killing intent, and his expression changed slightly. "No, it is a summon who is ambushing us." Zhang Cheng was a level 48 Water Magister. I did not think the Luo Cha King could kill Wang Hu under Zhang Cheng's protection, so I began to lure monsters from the surroundings. While I was luring monsters, the grimoire in front of Zhang Cheng flipped through pages rapidly, and he used the skill Water Dragon Bullet. A water dragon burst out from the grimoire, and directly knocked the Luo Cha King flying. After the water dragon knocked the Luo Cha King into the air, Zhang Cheng used another instant skill. A large amount of water elements gathered around the Luo Cha King, forming a huge water cage to imprison it. The next second he used the skill Sulfuric Acid Arrow. A stream of sulfuric acid shot out from Zhang Cheng's grimoire, instantly piercing through the Luo Cha King's chest, at the same time turning the entire water cage into sulfuric acid that continuously corroded the Luo Cha King. The Luo Cha King's health dropped rapidly. Zhang Cheng's gaze turned cold and he shouted, "Summoner, come out now." At that moment, I walked out from the shadows, took out the Luo Cha King mask, and recalled the Luo Cha King, while saying, "As expected of a level 48 Water Magister, you suppressed my summons so easily." Zhang Cheng saw that the ambusher was me, and a flash of surprise appeared in his eyes. As for Wang Hu, upon seeing me, his fear instantly turned into resentment. He sneered, "Good Zhang Yuan, I have not come for you, yet you came to me yourself. Uncle Zhang, kill him." With Wang Hu's order, Zhang Yecheng did not hesitate to fire several sulfuric acid bullets at me. Zhang Lu appeared in front of me and formed a blue barrier, blocking Zhang Yecheng's attack. Zhang Yecheng saw that my sword had blocked his attack, and a flash of shock appeared in his eyes as a storm surged in his heart, because he recognized it as an exclusive weapon. The exaggerated feat of my drawing a full constellation set in one draw at the school ceremony. He had also heard of it. How long had it been since then, and I already drew another exclusive weapon? What kind of heaven-defying luck was this? Could he have a divine talent that increases draw probability? Zhang Yecheng thought. Herein the killing intent in his eyes instantly became extremely intense. This child must not be allowed to live, otherwise the Wang family will surely perish. Then he did not hesitate to use water prison on me. But when the water elements approached me, they were all absorbed by Zhang Lu beside me. Seeing this, Zhang Yecheng's expression changed drastically. He disbelievingly used several more water attribute skills on me, and they were still absorbed by Zhang Lu. Only then did he understand that I was now immune to water damage and hard-countered his class. I smiled slightly and deployed the sword array, directly opening the sword array space in front of Wang Hu, and an iron sword shot out. But just as the iron sword was about to explode Wang Hu's head, water shields formed around Wang Hu again and directly wrapped the iron sword. Seeing the water shield confiscate one of my iron swords also confirmed my suspicion. I was glad I had not used Qi Xiao for the sneak attack at the start. Otherwise, my exclusive weapon might have been taken by Zhang Yecheng. Sure enough, any professional who can reach a high level is no ordinary person. Zhang Yecheng, after seeing my unpredictable attack method, was even more shocked beyond words.